home. Another match point.
Incredible third set here.
They changed their strategy a little bit, and they fought their way back in.
There it is, game, set, and match.
Hello and welcome to the 2024-25 APTA Tour. We're live from the Short Hills Club in Short Hills, New Jersey, bringing you the Short Hills Invitational, with live streaming brought to you by the APTA membership and our tour presenting sponsors, Volley and Corian. Tournament support has been provided by the following local sponsors: J.P. Morgan Private Bank, Maple Crest Ford Lincoln of Union, Master Athletics, Spiro Harrison and Nelson, the New Jersey Men's Platform Tennis Association, and the New Jersey Women's Platform Tennis League, Club Pilates, Paper Ribbon and Wrap, Center Court Padel, Susan Emmerich, Keller Williams Premier Properties, T-Spa, and the New Jersey Flex League. I'm Patty Hogan along with Denise Murphy calling the women's finals between the number 1 seeded team of Lynn Burus and Macy Elliott up against the number 4 seed in the tournament, B. Lopez and Taya Page. Welcome, Denise.
Thanks so much, Patty. This is going to be quite the exciting final, I believe. Two incredibly talented teams battling it out here. And we've saw amazing action yesterday in the semis, Patty, for these two teams to get here. Burus and Elliott took out Morgan Sikora in straight sets, 6-3, 6-4. And Lopez and Page took out the infamous team of Hanish Sabori, 2-3. So amazing matches in the semis, and looking for much of the same here in the finals. Just to identify the players real quick for us, Patty, we've got across the court, hitting it overhead right now, is Lynn Burus, and her partner in the white hat is Macy Elliott at the net, hitting some volleys. In the forecourt on the right side, in the black headband, we have B. Lopez. Actually, they're both wearing black headbands, so it doesn't matter. In the yellow shoes there, hitting some lobs, is B. Lopez in the ad court, on the deuce court. And in the ad court, we have Taya Page in the white shoes and black paddle.
Yes, Denise, yesterday's win by Lopez and Page over Hanish Sabori was something for the ages. I mean, that was the match, and Hanish and Sabori had played the most wonderful quarterfinal in their 0-0 win in the quarters over Cruz and Nicolescu, that you just thought they were going to continue with that. And then, the match unfolded, and just this foot speed, the court coverage, the shot making, how Lopez and B Lopez and Taya, they just brought it, and they have no fear as competitors, and they really took it to Hanish and Sabori and played a superior match. And so, this is going to be something, as everyone probably knows by now. Burus and Elliott, our 2-time defending national champs, have only dropped one match this season, and it's to Page and Lopez. So it's going to be exciting, Denise.
Absolutely. When I just thinking, we talked a little bit before we went on air, the last time that I watched these two teams battle it out, and you actually called that match, was in Detroit in the finals. It was quite the spectacle. Elliott and Burus lost the first set. And then Burus and Elliott did what they do best, which is constantly make adjustments, and just grinded their way back into the match, and at the end of the day were victorious. But it took just under 4 hours, Patty. I think you guys might have had to have a couple cups of coffee in the process of that match. But they slowed everything down, and they just took Lopez and Page out of their game. And it'll be interesting to see how both teams come out right now, if it's going to be a fast pace, which I believe it will be, because that's the way Lopez and Page play. And it'll be interesting to see how Burus and Elliott counter what they're going to find.
Right, because Denise, when we see all the teams play all throughout the season, Burus and Elliott, they're number one, clearly a number one, because they can play anyway well, and they can play speed up. You speed up, it's dangerous. You go slow down with them, it's dangerous. And they're such phenomenal athletes, and they know how to win, they know how to close, and That was the thing, Paige and Lopez. That was the question mark I had a little bit. Okay, can they close that out yesterday? And when they went up 4-2 in the second set on Henderson Zabori, I mentioned to Steve, our commentator, Steve Sullivan, I said, you know what? I kind of feel it. I feel like they're ready now. And, winning, like a lot of people know how to play. But, to learn to win and understand the nuances and the tiny little things that make a difference, that's what Paige and Lopez, for a young team,
Yes.
phenomenal in the progress they've made on that front throughout the course of the season. So I knew that they would give Hanish and Zabori all they could handle, and they even played better than I thought they were going to in that match. And here they are in the finals. Denise, we've had so many events here, and the Short Hills, the last Grand Prix of the year. Burus and Elliott come into this 5 wins already on the tour, looking for number 6, which is phenomenal. Lopez and Pejic have the 1 tournament win coming into this final.
Yep. I mean, I think what's most impressive about Paige and Lopez, as you said, they're fairly new. They are a new team, especially Paige. I mean, she's how many years? Is this her second year, Patty, playing?
Almost, about that.
Yeah. So what's most impressive is just their mental fortitude. They don't get wrapped up in who they are playing. We talked about this as well. They just play within themselves and play their game. And that is really, it's easier said than done. I mean, when you're like, for example, yesterday in the finals or semis, going and playing Hanish Sabori, that's a notorious, huge, very difficult team. And they handled it beautifully. It's almost like they don't get wrapped up in who they're playing. They just play their game without hesitation. And I think that's awesome. And that's what makes them so great. They don't seem to get heady at all.
No fear.
No fear at all.
And sometimes, they say when a young team, they're not going to be heady because they don't know that much to be heady. Like, they're not going to, get confused.
That's almost like blissful, to be blissfully unaware. It's just
exactly.
Like, hey, let's go.
Exactly. But I think they're really...
They're beyond that. Yeah, they're not just like, this is fun. They are calculated and just have all aspects of their game in alignment and have intention for everything. So I'm very excited to see how this unfolds and what patterns and strategy we see each team implement throughout the course of this match, because it will change.
Yeah, I was thinking about one of the keys for Paige Lopez in this match, because, how do you ever say Burus and Elliott aren't the favorite in a match? And what does the other team, what do Lopez and Paige have to do? They've got to serve well, because these Burus and Elliott just apply such pressure on the return serves, and even the partner showing the pressure on the next move. You've got to be really concerned with that. But I think Lopez and Paige, they can hit some serves and they can move it around. That they've got the pace and the spin combinations. I think that's going to be key to get themselves in good positions for those first volleys. Because anything you leave short against this team, Macy's going to go forehand, backhand, out, either way. She'll rip that two-hander in the middle. And Lynn, we know, is just unbelievably consistent off her forehand. Clearly one of the best in the game.
Absolutely. And Burus coming in from that ad side, blitzing. She seems to pick just the right moments. A lot of times blitzes don't work because there either a hesitation in the movement or coming at the wrong time, and Burus just has it calculated perfectly and timed when her partner, Elliott, sets her up with, like you were saying, either a beautiful backhand or forehand that dips below the net that forces the opponents to volley up. So there's definitely going to be a lot of action, a lot of movement, and kind of just feeling out where each other's at on this given day. Because as you know, wouldn't it be nice, Patty, if every single day you came out and you had everything was working at 100%?
Yeah, right.
Is that an average day for you, Patty? Because it's not an average day for me.
Too funny.
You're like, I don't know what you're talking about, Denise. I have everything all the time.
Not always.
It's nice to see that the courts are drying out, so that doesn't look like to be a factor. It's always tricky when you know the courts are wet and.
Right, they did a wonderful job.
That just changes the game.
Yeah, wonderful job, Denise. The crew was out here early this morning and they've got everything cleared away. Club invested in some new heating system, which seems to really help each of the courts. They used to be on one big system when they put the heaters on. So now it's all individual, and so they, when I got here this morning, everything looked really clear.
That's awesome. Well, it's a nice 35 degrees there. Or here it's cloudy. Feels like 21, so it's the perfect paddle day, Patty.
It is the perfect paddle day, and a big shout out to Brian Skinner and his crew, everybody from Short Hills on this event. Denise, I think we're about a minute to go. Brian and Crystal Skinner, the Browns. There's so many people. I'll go through them as we go through the broadcast. General Manager Glenn did a great job, and really fun Champions Dinner on Friday night. Big party last night. Friday night Champions Dinner. They got to celebrate Hank Irvine, the longtime pro here at Short Hills Club. Hank got to share his tales, and if you know Hank, he's always got the tales.
Gosh.
But it was so great to
stories.
see so many of the
I
past
love it.
champions of this prestigious tournament, the Short Hills Invitational. Always a highlight of every paddle player season.
Absolutely. Patty, up in the chair as the official umpire for this match is Carol Everson. So I want to thank her for her time and being there. It's kind of tricky to sit up there for an entire match, which, as you know, this one has the potential to possibly go 4 hours like the last time in Detroit. But I want to thank her for being up there and giving her time. And of course, the scoring system will be 2 out of 3 sets, regular scoring, playing out a full third set. So just really excited and interested.
Yeah. Do you think the other men's semifinal will be done before this match is done? It started.
That's 50-50, Patty. It's 50. What time? It started, an hour and a half ago?
Oh, my Lord. Regalado and Salazar in with a brawl with McNerney Morgan. 4-3 in the first set. I think that match is about an hour and a half underway.
Wow. Yeah, so it's a toss-up there. I'm not willing to call that either way.
That's right.
Speaking of calling, Patty, what going in before even 1 point is played, what are if you were a betting woman?
Oh, it's that time.
Who would you? It's that time, Patty.
You know, I love for my co-commentator to pick first, and then you tell me why your team's going to win, and I'll pick the other team and tell you why.
I think
we need the heaters on this court. Thank you.
It goes without saying that all 4 players are incredible athletes and players and human beings. So boom, there. We have that on the table. I am going to go with Burus and Elliott, just simply because of they have just an uncanny ability to make adjustments, and they're masters at the adjustments. And you have to see the court, you have to see the patterns developing in order to make an adjustment, and I feel like they just nail it every time. So I'm going to go with a long grind of a match, but I'm going with Burus Elliott.
Okay, I guess I am picking Lopez and Page in this match.
Okay.
They're going to win because they're freaking awesome. They're a new team. They started playing in the Summer League. We've heard all about their story. They just seem to get better and better. Every single match by match, they improve. They make really good decisions, have incredible poise for such a young team. And I think that their quickness, court coverage, is going to possibly be the difference because their speed was such a factor against Hanish and Zabori. Hanish and Zabori hit so many phenomenal shots, but everyone came back.
I agree. I agree with everything you just said.
Denise, I agree with everything.
I think Burus and Elliott.
To the women's finals of the 2025 Short Hills Invitational Tournament, Short Hills, New Jersey. On my left, serving, will be playing in the ad court, is Lynn Burrish, Plainfield Country Club. Her partner, Macy Elliott, who will be playing the deuce court, Wilton, Connecticut, Rolling Hills Country Club. On my right in the deuce court, we have Bay Lopez of Orange Lawn Club, Orange, New Jersey, and her partner, Taya Page, Stanford Yacht Club, Stanford, Connecticut. Best 2 of 3. Good luck, ladies.
Okay. So, Patty, here we go. Taking us out is Lynn Burst to serve, partner Elliott at the net, and returning is B. Lopez, partner Taya Page in the ad side. Love that pressure right away, Patty, of Paige coming in behind Lopez's awesome return.
15 love.
And that's the thing, one of the reasons they're a phenomenal team is they both can apply the pressure and have such confidence in each other's drives that
Yep.
they move forward, and they have such quick hands that they can match up with the hands of Elliott and Burus as well as anybody.
15 all.
That's just a great shot. And that's the tricky thing with Burus. I love her serve, but if on a day like this, that there might be some offense
15,
coming from the
30.
wires because she hits that serve so well and with a lot of power.
And that's the thing about Lopez and Paige. They're not the tallest team, but they are high ball hitters. Learn they can just crack that ball.
30 all.
And I like that they're swinging. You know, they came out swinging, which there was no doubt
That's
what
what
they
they
were gonna
do. Yeah, I was going
Yeah.
to say.
30 40.
You can see Macy Elliott just slides to her right, Denise. There's no confusion as to who's going to take that lob out of that ad court corner.
And gives her partner the open court to be able to hit that wherever she wants if they're trying to get it to Paige's backhand. Elliott's not in the way of that.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Your point was really good too, Patty. Great lobs coming out. I love seeing Burus's feet just beyond that service line on almost every single lob.
And this is the formation. Burus and Elliott are phenomenal. With Elliott on top of that net, she seems to shut down all the drives. You call that person the drive stopper, and she clearly does that as well as anybody in the game. And with Burus handling a lot of the overheads, you know, it is so tough to break them. But Lopez and Paige have a break point in the early going here.
I love the help call because Burus already picked one up flying out from the nick there, but the early communication just to make sure your partner's on board.
And you're going to see this is what Macy Elliott is phenomenal at. Out of that deuce court, she can spot those lobs and really force her opponents all the time to be in constant decision-making mode. Right there, you can see they both went for that ball. And it's just those little moments that Macy Elliott seems to create so many offensive looks for themselves off of.
Game Lopez Page. Lopez Page lead the first set. 1 game to love.
Well, to get a break, Lynn Burus is saying a lot to start this match.
That's
Denise.
that's not a bad way for Lopez and Paige to start off. That's for sure.
And, you know, when I was thinking about this, and, you know, I often think about who is it critical to get off to a good start in a match. You know, it's Lopez Page because Burus and Elliott, they have proven to us for a couple years.
Yeah.
5 tournament wins last year, 5 tournament wins this year. They know how to close. They're phenomenal front runners.
Absolutely. And, you know, there's ironically, as you know, like you mentioned earlier, Burus and Elliott have 5 tournament wins this season. They've lost a lot of first sets. So they're not, this is not like, uh-oh, we lost the first game. They're like, all right, let's just figure out, let's find it. You know, made a couple loose errors in that first game, no big deal.
Love.
They'll just they have confidence in their game and their shots, and they'll find it.
Oh, yeah. So right there, Macy went for the rip off the two-handed backhand, just missed it. But that's her shot, and Lopez is going to have to be
15
careful.
all.
You know, they are going to have to get the depth on the overhead. If they're not hitting the ball hard enough to get it into the screens, the key will be the depth of those overheads, because you leave a ball short in the court against Burus, Elliott, and you're going to be tested all day long.
Yeah.
It's going to be
You're
a long
feel
day.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Talked to Allison Morgan this morning. You know, they came up a little short in their semi against Burus.
30 15.
Elliott, and we were just chatting about it a little bit, and they were trying to get those overheads into the Burus backhand over there. I mean, it seems, easier said than done. It's very hard, and with the lobbing from Elliott, it's really hard to get the looks to go after Burus in that ad court corner to her backhand.
Yes.
It's easy to say, oh, this is what we have to do, but to really execute
Just
it,
out.
it's dependent upon
40,
shorter
15.
lobs, and
Exactly. I was
Macy
gonna say
Elliott
it.
doesn't give you too many.
Nope. Nope.
It's a great
But
shot.
I did like how they shifted Morgan and Sakura. They did implement that strategy towards the middle and of that second set, and it was effective. It got them a couple games. So again, but it's totally dependent on the depth of the lob in order to get you the angle you need. High percentage angle, I should say. You could try to go for it all day long, but you're going to miss more than you're going to make.
Right. Some really good communication early on here for Lopez and Page. You can see they're leaving nothing to chance.
Yep.
And you see how much variety they have with their overheads just in this point, Denise. And
Yes.
that's the thing. They make the grip changes. And I think that's the key. If you're going to break down Burus and Elliott, you got to be able to throw different pace, different spins at them.
Yep. Trying to get them a little uncomfortable. Where most of the time, Burus and Elliott just look like they're playing a Sunday match with friends. They're just out there just doing their thing.
Game.
That was a
Page.
great
Lopez
overhead.
and Page lead the first set. 2
think that
games
hit
to
them.
love.
They hit the seam there and kind of kicked in the Burus, who wasn't expecting that angle.
But the opportunity, it seems like the only way you can win a point at this level is when you get a little lucky, a let court or a nick in the corner. But I'm saying they have the overheads to kind of open the court up, to open
Yes.
up those corners from time to time.
Absolutely. They do. Lopez and Page do an awesome job of mixing up the spins, the pace, and the placement of their overheads. Really can create a lot of
Love,
instability at the
15.
baseline team. A lot of pressure on that returns. You see where Lopez ended up there, Patty?
Yeah.
Well in the court. That's a pressure return for you off of a very good serve. I love how Elliott stayed there, locking down that cross court, and her partner Burus just kind of peeled off. Really good play.
Yeah, Paige had to move her ball. She had to move her drive. She just took on Macy, where
Yeah.
I think she just could have avoided her, gone up the line.
30-15.
Yep. Yeah, Macy's looking for that one.
And that's the thing that Macy has always done, and I feel like she just zooms in on the aggressive shot that the other team's about to hit, and she just takes it on. She loves that volley situation, and unless it's a shorter ball, I don't think you're going to make her miss.
She's just so set. Look at her shoulders forward. Balanced, nice wide foundation that Elliott has up there, just waiting to absorb that power of the drives that are coming. Because the drives are powerful.
Yeah.
There's not much. That is one thing that Lopez and Page don't
40-15.
mix up the pace of their drives that much. When they go to step in, that ball is a laser beam.
Right there in that point, short lobbing, got him killed.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. That's, there's a couple keys for them, and you just
40,
hope
30.
that they have so much offense they can just bring in one shot, but you still love to see them work the sequential things and lob deep and really get these guys off balance, create some openings for their drives.
Yes.
I'll be curious to see yesterday B. Lopez out of that deuce court with those bright yellow sneakers. She played well over in the middle for so much of the match against Hanish and Zabori, and they caught her a little bit on it, but she had great footwork, and just like that, created some offense off of like a deep spot on the court, but she can hit that heavy top spin shot and just force a volley error there.
Yep. Yeah, Elliott's shoulders just came back a little bit, which opened up her paddle, and just the slightest angle change when you have got a powerful drive coming at you at the net, that's going to send that ball long. It's a great take by Lopez.
I thing about Lopez, Page, when they hit their ground strokes, they can hit anywhere in the court.
Advantage, out.
Yeah.
You can see they really, make their opponents question where the next ball is going, and they can move it. They kind of have that awesome timing, and they're pure ball strikers. See, right there, I would have loved her to have gone between the two players right there. She kind of
Yes.
went to Macy's two-handed, but Macy was all set with her backhand volley there.
Look at how far over Elliott just got to give Burus like the full court to hit if need be.
I always think that, the development of overheads in the game are dependent upon your partner getting out of the way a lot.
Yeah. Yes.
Because so many times, so many levels of play, you see that player to the right here, it's Macy Elliott in the light top, backing up to take that middle ball, where then they don't
Yes.
really have someone on top of the net to defend the volley, on the very next shot. Where
Yep.
with them, they're just out here and they're just a machine in their efficiency, in their net coverage.
Yeah, they're always balancing the court beautifully. And I say there's a micro balance of the service box where the partnership, the further back somebody goes, the closer up the partner gets to the net.
Game, Lopez
Wow,
and Page.
just so
Lopez
consistent,
and Page
so
lead the
smart.
first set 3 games
Playing
to
by
love.
Lopez and Page.
Wow. Rock
Yeah.
solid start.
Yes.
Two breaks of serve. Burus in the first game, Elliott right there. And, when we talked about how good front runners Burus and Elliott are, Lopez and Page are very good front runners as well. They just haven't
Yes.
been out in front running as long as a team.
Right.
But they proved to me yesterday in a big time match they can close it out, and all the teams on the tour that they really beat everybody they're supposed to beat as the number 4 ranked team in the country.
I love how both teams are kind of taking some time right now to chat, probably reinforcing a strategy, pumping each other up. Who knows? But I love just taking a little time. All right, so we have Lopez taking us out for serving here in the 4th game, and Elliott returning.
In the season-long APTA Cup standings, Elliott is number 1 in the standings. She won a tournament with Page, which puts her a little bit ahead of her partner, Lynn Burus. Hanisch was in 3rd place, Zabori was in 4th. And coming into this, Page was 5th and Lopez was 8th. So certainly their appearance in the finals is going to shoot them up, with 2 tour events to go in the season-long race. Maybe Elliott's lead gets a little bit squeezed here.
It's a great lob. See, okay, so notice the probing drives. We've got the combination of the deep lob and
15 love.
Elliott kind of taking some pace off of her backhand, just kind of trying to slow this down a little bit. This is an adjustment we've seen unfold several times. I love the pressure by Burus coming in, following up her awesome return.
Yeah, and I thought Lopez was dead in the water on that play. And
Yeah,
she just kind of kept backing up till she felt comfortable that she could, put her paddle on it. Wow. How creative
Such a
was that get from Page?
so good.
15 all.
Great overheads, really good targets.
And we see these phenomenal high-level tennis players come in to paddle. Denise, the last piece of the puzzle is figuring out all those low, nasty screenshots, spins,
Yes.
how to get it. And, but like Paige, really in her first full season of play here, has made phenomenal progress there. Just couldn't come up with that low one, but I think most people would miss that one as well.
Yes.
And that's really the last key. They're gonna, Burus and Elliott are gonna really test them in the screens, and Paige, particularly over in that ad court, she's gonna get a lot of practice. She keeps getting better,
Yes.
better by the set.
Yep. Such a great lob by Elliott.
15-30.
So that's
Again,
yeah, go ahead,
they
Denise.
shifted gears and just putting up a lot of lobs, making him hit a bunch of balls. And when they do get one, every once in a while, Elliott's putting in that little probing, half-pace drive that's really, really effective.
And that's why I think their overhead placement is going to be huge in this match because, you know, if it's not deep enough and you don't know if Elliott's going to pull the trigger and drive or throw up a lob, you know, something's going to give in your positioning a little bit. And they,
Yes.
you know, Macy didn't rush it, so she kind of forced the net team to hold position in close, and they were so vulnerable to that lob, but it was a consequence of what Macy had set up for herself.
Absolutely.
And Denise, as we know, when with two righties, the dangerous lob is the one that comes from that deuce court more so than from the ad court.
15-40.
From the ad court, we have that natural overhead for the righty-righty combination.
Yep. Yeah, it can cause a lot of indecision or hesitation. That lob coming from the deuce side by the net team. Just wait, is it mine? Is it yours? So the last thing you want to do is cover that with a high backhand. With two righties.
And Denise, we have an update after nearly 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Regalado Salazar won the first
30,
set,
40.
6-3 over McNerney and Morgan.
Wow. All right, here we go. Burus and Elliott have a advantage here.
Deuce.
It's such a good serve. Lopez is just moving that around so well. It's that softer backhand that Elliott does so well.
Yeah, they have to be careful. Burus has hit 5 shots in a row.
Yep.
That's a problem. I always think, be careful.
There you go.
Again, see the
Great defense by Lopez. And
Advantage
great
out.
move by Elliott coming in. That was perfectly timed.
And that's kind of a vintage point in their win yesterday over Henderson Zabori. It's just that's what I'm talking about. They have such speed, quickness, footwork, and they just, you know, every offensive great shot, unbelievable shot that Henderson Zabori hit, these guys came up with it because they've got that speed, and it
Yes.
just keeps them in the point and puts a lot of pressure on the other team knowing they have to just hit an unbelievable shot just to win a point.
Yep.
You can see Macy looking to insert herself out of that deuce court. You know, she throws up the lob. She's always looking. She keeps moving her feet.
That's deuce, yeah. Sorry.
You know,
Deuce.
always looking to create something with a combination of shots.
Yes.
And a majority
Yeah,
of
and
her shots aren't hit hard, Denise.
Yeah. Yeah. No. It's just she's hitting a lot of probing offense back there, but she did come out guns a-blazing, and now she's kind of shifted gears a little bit. Wow. But to your point, Patty, what I love is like the lob goes up and they like it. They both step up. They're just so close to the baseline, constantly trolling for a missed overhead that's perhaps the right height they want, the right pace. So it really makes the court feel smaller, I believe, to Lopez and Page when you've got Elliott. I mean, look at them. Both of them had their feet in the blue on that really tough lob. That just makes you feel like, oh gosh, unless I hit a perfect overhead, we're going to be feeling this.
It's a huge point for most club level players because I feel like they tend to get into a lobathon and then they back
Yes.
up and get closer to the back screen than to the baseline. And then
Yes.
let's say there's a mishit volley or just a short volley. And there's a lot of court for them to cover to hit a good shot off of where, to your point, if they can move themselves, up and back, keep the footwork way more active, they're going to create many more opportunities for themselves. Or be able to just capitalize on that short ball
Yes.
a little bit more efficiently.
And especially if you're a blitzer, you like to apply pressure. If you're going to start your blitz from 2 feet in the green, you're going to be late to that blitz all day long. You're going to miss the party. But if you hang out at the baseline, you've just saved yourself a couple steps. You're going to get there in plenty of time and get closer to the net, which is going to add to your success rate. There comes, wow. It's a great ball, great coverage by Elliott, just reading that beautifully. I love how Burus did not try to even flinch to attempt to hit that. She just trusted that her partner was back there to cover her, and of course she was.
Advantage in.
I know it's not what they wanted, the end result, but I like that. I like what Burus and Elliott are doing. They're slowing it down, really lengthening out these points. The execution will come on those drives. I think the slower pace
Deuce.
definitely lends itself to Elliott and Burus. Great dig. Wow.
Advantage out.
That was a great get by Elliott. Not only did she get that back, Patty, but she put them on defense, them meaning Pejic and Lopez hitting that overhead. That was awesome.
Yeah, she caught
Very good.
Paige,
Advantage out.
like she just wrong-footed her a little bit there,
Yep.
and maybe that would have been a great time for Paige to just let that ball bounce. It was such a good lob.
Yes.
She was so
Deuce!
off balance, where when she's got her balance, she can hit any shot anywhere on the
Oh,
court.
yeah.
But sometimes it helps to just let that ball go, bounce, and give up the net, because you don't care if you play the baseline.
True. Especially with their weapon set at the baseline.
Advantage in.
Whoa. Kind of would have liked Elliott to pick a target. Either go with the girl in pink or the one in black. You know, space can't play an out ball, I always say, Denise.
Yeah.
She saw that serve, and it was just
Deuce!
sitting there, and she just hit an overjuiced return. I guess even Macy misses from time to time.
Sometimes it just feels good, Patty, to just wall up the bejesus out of the ball.
That's right.
I like that pace a lot better. Like, she's valuing the spin over power on that return. And I really like that.
Denise, you have a growing fan base around the country. We're so glad you joined the APTA broadcast team for the 24-25 season. You're doing a great job, Denise, and it's fun to get that Chicago representation. And everybody's enjoying it. Damian Johnston, our APTA president, particularly enjoying it, as he is the #1 fan of all time in the sport of platform tennis. Ron Cummins, fan #2, and many others, Denise, enjoying your call.
Well, I'm really excited to be part of the commentating team, and thanks, Patty, for all your help.
Your resume was outstanding.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, all my experience commentating. It's a great lob. Again, these transitions, they make it just look so smooth and easy. All 4 players.
So the Detroit final was just under 4 hours, right?
Yes, it was literally like 3 hours and 52 minutes and 36 seconds. Just kidding.
Advantage in.
Oh, wow.
I think you're right. You know, it felt a little longer that day.
Yeah. I wasn't commentating that with you, it was you and Lauren, but I was watching it. I just remember being like, oh, man. Who's running the local coffee shop to bring these two some
right.
juice? But it also is exciting, too. It's like edge of their seat match, just as this one is. All right, this is a big point. You know, 4-1 to 3-2 is a big mental difference.
I like that Lopez Page. You know, they don't care what side they're on, and I like the switch, just kind of changing it up.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of that, Denise. Even early on in a match, even if you don't need to do it, I like both players to feel really comfortable on both sides, because when you need to pull it as a tactic on a really key point,
Yes.
sometimes it's hard to execute if you haven't done it a little bit earlier in the set. So
Yeah, true.
I like the look, and I think it also prevents the net team from getting settled in.
Deuce.
You know, net teams come up with their overhead scheme, and if the baseline team, you know, switches back and forth from time to time, kind of keeps that net team a little more honest about their
Exactly.
overheads.
Yeah. It makes you all of a sudden recalibrate. Like, okay, where are my safe zones now? Where are the danger zones? And maybe sometimes the teams have equal strengths, but most of the time there's a definite difference in target selection that you're going for,
Deuce.
depending on which player is in the deuce or which is in the ad. All right, we're back to deuce here, Patty. It's interesting. Lopez is taking a little bit off her serve now. She missed a couple, and she's mixing up the pace of that.
But also right there, they had the little chat. I think that was huge. That shows
Yes.
a lot of maturity as a team.
I like that lob that Elliott just threw up. I know it didn't deliver elicit a drive, but that down the line is going to give Burus some looks for sure when Elliott's able to get that lob down the line. Keep mixing it up. I love this long point, Patty. It's just vintage Elliott Burus, just totally shifting and slowing it all down.
But the thing is about Lopez and Page, Denise, I don't think they mind the slowdown either. I felt like in the beginning of the season, they had a little bit of like that urgency thing about them more.
Yes.
Where
Yes, I agree.
now I don't feel that from them. They're totally content to, you know, whatever moment they are in the match, just deal with what's going on
back.
in that moment.
Advantage in.
And I think, you know, whether it's slow or fast, I'm not sure it phases them, to tell you the truth. But, you know, 2
I
months
agree.
ago it did.
Yeah. Well, I think what it does is Burus and Elliott are just so much more balanced and relaxed. As soon I feel like what can get them in trouble is when there's too much offense coming, because Lopez and Page's volleys are so good that all of a sudden it creates a lot of like temporary chaos, like running that down or get it, you know. So they're just keeping them in the same spot, right around, hovering right around the service line, and they've got all the time in the world. Like, I love Burus just kind of strolls in to apply some pressure, strolls back casually, but they just look so comfortable. They meaning Elliott and Burus at the baseline. Just getting super picky and can just lob all day long, waiting for the right ball to strike. So this is looking like the 3 hour, 15-minute match, Patty.
Deuce!
That was a very important point.
Yeah.
Again, taking a
Burus-
little time, Patty. I love this. Just like chatting it up, just reconnecting. Very smart.
Yeah, you feel like they're totally in sync with each other. And you can see, when Burus and Elliott apply that pressure, it's unbelievable. That's why I kind of like it where they show more pressure, personally. I think that against a lot of teams, they can just go lock down and just not miss. But I feel like they've got to keep their offense going as well a little bit.
There's a balance, absolutely, to strike. And right now, the scale is tipped all the way on the other side.
But, they got an easy overhead error from Page just by lobbing.
Yeah.
But
I
I'm
mean,
just saying, what they can bring, the offense from the baseline person, Elliott, we've just seen it for a couple of seasons. I want them to look for that
Advantage in!
a little bit more. And with, right off the return of serves, I think that they could apply some more pressure off the returns.
It's all about balance, Patty.
That's right. See, that's
Nice
what I'm
move.
talking about, Denise. They're just so damn scrappy. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like right there, they look like Paige looked like she was a little bit dead in the water, awkward off bounds. No big deal.
Yep.
They just stuck out their paddle, shorten their swings, just block lob the ball, and then start again. What
Wow.
a rip!
Nice get by Burris, too, getting back there. Second transition of this point. Again, the early calling so important, just to alert your partner what's up, and it allows everybody just be more balanced hitting their overheads. There's no question. Is it mine? Is it hers? Oh, there's that pressure. Forces the error. It was a good call by Lopez, and it just, when you see Burris coming in, you want to keep that ball away from her, and she just went for too tight of an angle. I don't blame her.
So Denise,
play
is the
for-
score 3-0
yeah.
or 3-1? Are we waffling on the score?
Okay, I'm so
Advantage
glad
out.
you brought that up, because I didn't remember Burris and Elliott winning a game, but I thought maybe I spaced out, to be honest.
No.
So I don't know for sure. I should have been writing it down too.
We'll listen. We'll listen to Carol.
Yes, because we know we'll hear Carol. She does such a great
That's
job
right. Carol
of
Uerchen,
projecting her voice.
Montclair Golf Club, one of the finest. Former Rutgers runner, athlete. That's where I met her many years ago.
That's cool. Didn't know that. It's a
Oh,
fun
yeah.
fact for the day.
She ran track with one of my sisters. You see Lopez lining up that overhead. You know, the leg involvement.
It's very Zabori-ish.
Yeah.
It reminds me of her, that loading. When she just gets in that stance, and that's what that just reminded me of. But I like it. The load is awesome.
Yeah, and a lot of players, aren't successful at getting, an effective amount of their overheads, into the screens because they don't load up with their legs, and it just becomes all arm. And so weather drops, you just see fewer and fewer balls go into those screens with most,
Yep.
A lot of club level players.
Absolutely. I always say anything that moves independently of your body it's going to affect the outcome. You can't have your arm just doing all the work. Plus, that's when you end up with shoulder and elbow issues.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really tough. There you go. You think Birch is in trouble. That's a phenomenal overhead that they hit. And then Lopez just flips it and moves in, hits a pressure drive. Great point. Oh, there we go. The score was just fixed.
You know, it's the magic.
Patty?
You know, you can give games, take away games, but we're back to deuce.
Okay, but I'm so glad you met because I was like, wow, Denise, come on.
We were
Lock
just
it down
seeing
here.
if you were paying
Get
attention.
a grip. Like, how did they win that game?
So you see what I'm saying, Denise, about how Lopez Page slow down seems just fine for them. You know, I feel like they're handling it beautifully. And they're not, you know, they're not going for too much on their overheads. The ones they hit, they're super confident of. Page missed the one overhead, but that's about it.
The only thing I could say is, you know, perhaps they're just trying to lull them into that hanging out at the service line because they're expecting a lob and then we'll bring it. But I don't see, especially Elliott's setup. She's not set up and prepared to jump on those overheads that might be landing a little short. As Burus is still trolling.
Yep. A little confusion in the middle there, a little tentative. Now they've got themselves straightened out again. Lopez is the player to the left. That's Page on the right. Pink pants.
But great drive off the screen by Elliott. I like that pressure.
I'll tell you, Denise,
Oh, boy.
Advantage, Lopez.
another thing that Page is doing phenomenally well when she's straight ahead from Burus at the net. She is reading Burus's shots beautifully. And when Burus opens up her paddle, just the tiniest amount, you see Page dropping back. And so
Yep.
they're not getting any offense off of the really good up the line lob from Burus because Page is kind of taking it. She has that great footwork. And right there again, you see how she effortlessly moves back a couple of steps and then can hit the overhead, you know, still in front of her where she has the whole court in her sights. And you know, amazing anticipation.
Yes. She's not. Nobody's reactionary out here. They're basing their positioning on the quality shot that either Page or Lopez hits, and is either closing in when they think that, I might have missed my target, or they're just backing off. Just confident that's going to elicit a
Deuce.
defensive response, which is a lob. Just went after that a little too big, but I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, it like that kind of shot doesn't matter how deep it is. She hit it so hard with all, you know, that roller that anywhere in front of Elliott would have been good.
Yeah.
She was juiced though. It was a
All right.
juiced overhead for sure.
Yet another deuce point here. Lopez just served. Macy Elliott just returned.
Are you counting the number of deuces in this game, Denise? I'm not, but it seems like we're up to 5 or 6.
I was just going to say 5 or 6, but I do not know.
Let's both say 5 or 6. Then we'll both
5
be
or
right.
6. I love it. Maybe if any of our listeners out there could tell us that have been keeping track. You know, we're just so dialed in on the shots and the strategy that we can't do it all.
Advantage, Lopez.
I would have loved notice where Elliott's standing. I would have loved to just see her step in to the blue and meet the ball. Her backhand is a different shot when she is able to step in and really bring her momentum and her body weight behind the ball, which is going to naturally generate so much more power. Darn. Okay.
Lopez and Page lead the first set, 4 games to love.
You know, I knew Carol would know the score.
Yeah. And I knew we would hear it. It's awesome. Okay, so Elliott, Burus really taking some time here, thinking over, okay, what do we need to do here? You know, I mean, seriously, it's like, okay, we're at the net. They're probably reinforcing a strategy, maybe changing things up, saying, you know what, this isn't working. Let's do this.
They're making their Super Bowl picks right now, Denise. Are you kidding?
I know, right?
Yeah, it's 4-love. I just want to make sure because this is losing a little bit of battery.
No, I mean, they have a ton of
Lopez
confidence.
and Page might be talking about that right now, but I don't know if Burus and Elliott are talking about that.
No, they're also dialed in. I'm only kidding. I hear there's a football game later on today. Just
Yeah,
thinking
just a little
about it.
game. Just a little game.
Love 15.
Really nice 1-2. Again, Lopez stepping into that return. Page coming in behind it, just applying that extra pressure. Very tough combination.
And that's the thing, when Elliott and Burus do that off their returns, that's what I'm talking about. I think they could apply some more pressure. And they might have
Totally
to
agree.
because Lopez
Yeah.
and Page, they came out here this morning. I watched them warm up. They were hitting the ball. They felt really confident.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of unforced errors that Lopez and Page have hit so far, I mean, minimal. I mean, they are just so locked in and making Elliott and Burus like earn every single point. Very few giveaways here.
Shout out Anna Zabori is enjoying the action, not as much as obviously if she were out here playing, but she is chiming in and enjoying watching this match.
Awesome.
I think it's making her feel better with
15
Lopez
all.
and Page's early success in this match, up 4-0.
Yeah. Again, I like the pause, connecting with your partner every point. There's no rush. It's always making sure you're on the same page with your partner. It's so important. I like that Burus stayed back and then rejoined her partner at the net. So smart.
15-30.
That's just a tough spot right on her right hip. Macy Elliott, she tried to flip, and it's just a really, really solid target from Lopez.
Denise, this is the thing. You know, Lopez and Page they both can bring the heat, and you saw the pace of Lopez, and she just smacked that ball right at Elliott, and just kind of handcuffed her, and
Yeah.
Elliott was in between a forehand or a backhand volley. But that's the pressure that I saw yesterday from Page and Lopez, and they're when they tee off, I mean, they make 98% of their drives.
Yeah.
They're super efficient with it. No waste, very few unforced errors on their drives, even though they bring the heat. And I just like how they make their opponents come up with another one. And Macy just did beautiful deep volley. Thought it was going long. I was a little nervous for her.
Wow.
Denise, that looks like you out of that ad corner.
Oh, yeah. Back in my day. I'm just kidding. That would be amazing if I could look like that in my corner. Wow. That down the line. Mixing up the targets. I like the little watch it. I'm not sure who said it, Elliott or Burus, but I like that. Just warning your partner. All right, I perhaps overhit that. Oh,
15,
I thought
40.
maybe she was playing it for a second. I'm like, wait, Lynn, get in there. All right. Wow.
What a sick catch.
Fantastic catch. Again, another amazing display of athleticism. All four of these players. You just can't count the ball out. It's coming back.
It's next level, Denise.
Yes. Yeah, that's the type of stuff, Patty, that just can't be taught. It's just intuitive, and it's just raw athleticism.
Little change from the baseline with Elliott over in that ad court, bringing some heat.
Yep. I like it. She's stepping in,
Lopez and Page, Denise, their volleys, how solid are they?
So good. Well, they're so quiet up there, and partially we talked about it earlier, but the anticipation. Like when you know everybody missed targets, right, on their overheads. So when you know a drive's coming, you just simply position yourself to best defend, like given where the ball is coming from. Wow, that's a good ball.
Lopez and Page. Lopez and Page lead the first set 5-0.
All right, Patty, a little word from one of our sponsors, Volley.
How much did you got?
Looking to lower your PTI? The secret's out.
Oh, yeah, good.
Early
I
adopters
don't
are
want to
already
keep
leveling
coming
up with Volley's AI-powered trainers, and they're leaving the competition behind. Don't get left in the dust. Download Volley now at www.getvolley.com or search Volley Racket in your app store.
Denise, have you ever seen Burus and Elliott down 5-love
Thanks, Mike. Sorry.
in a match?
No. Nope, I have not. 5-0, that's pretty, that's a big deficit.
No.
And
No.
I mean, I feel like initially the points were quick. There's a lot of errors. So I do like the length of the points. But I agree, there's a delicate balance between you don't want to swing the pendulum too much one way. They've slowed it down, but they still need to be aggressive and apply the pressure in a high percentage way when they have the looks. And you know, there's so many ways to do that, not just with the drive, but I love to see Burus like stepping up and moving in. Her blitz is so effective and can really be a game changer in this, but that relies on one of them hitting,
Tay is serving.
you know, a dipping ball or a ball that's going to elicit a volley that's going to set them up in a positive way, and we haven't seen that as much. All right, so we have Taya Page taking us out. They're up 5-0, Page and Lopez against Elliott and Burus, the #1 seeds and the #1 team in the country. So this is unfolding in a very interesting way, Patty.
It is.
But by no means are we counting them out. Because they have, if there's any team on the tour that has the uncanny ability to flip it and get their mojo back and make an adjustment in their strategy, it's Burus and Elliott. I like that. Okay, there you go. See Elliott drive. Burus starts creeping in. It didn't pan out that time, but I like that. I like the intention behind that.
Love 15 love, excuse me. 15 love.
Wow. That's sick. I mean, Patty.
Crazy.
Another crazy get by Lopez. I mean,
15 all.
versus return, any other team or almost any other team would say, great shot, nice ball. And they're running back, somehow getting the ball back. Unbelievable athleticism again.
Great
Nice cover by Elliott. Love that.
I got it.
Like that where Burus is controlling in when Elliott hits that a better lob. Her toes are inside the baseline in the blue, just looking to either, you know, have that as a springboard for a potential blitz or just ready to tee off on any short ball. Wow, what a great lob.
30-15.
Pretty nice
It's a tough ball.
little nice angle volley. Perfect time
Yes.
for it. A lot of
Yes.
times angle volleys don't do you a lot of good, but in that case, perfect.
I think Burus was trying to maybe surprise them with a little low ball, but that could get her partner in trouble up there with Elliott stayed up.
You know, we're so used to seeing the phenomenal volleying from Burus and Elliott. But the thing is, with Pejic and Lopez, their volleying is just as phenomenal. They have amazing hands. And we talked about their leg involvement on their overheads. I think they have huge leg involvement on their volleys. And so no matter what, they seem to have like perfect timing on their volleys on this day.
Yes.
You know, and they wait for it. You know, they always say, you know, when you come over from tennis, you have to figure out when to attack and when to wait on volleys. And they just seem to be able to time the shots from Elliott and Burus here perfectly so far.
I love watching from this vantage point, Patty, that we're seeing on the screen.
40-15.
Tough. Where they're just seeing the players, Lopez and Pejic, like just trolling for that ball, like stepping up, looking, just reading based on where they just placed their lob.
And 2 set points for Pejic and Lopez here. Unbelievable start to this finals from the Short Hills Invitational.
I don't know.
Honest, I don't know.
Yeah. It's communication. There's lots of different things to say. Mine, yours, you got it. I don't know. But it works.
40-30.
You normally don't see Lopez pulling the trigger from that deep in the green. That was maybe a little bit of a forced shot, but hey. 5-0 up, 40-15.
Why
I
not?
could see why she would just pull the trigger on that.
Deuce.
That was interesting. You know, I thought Burus was going to bring the heat, and she didn't.
Uh-huh.
And I think Lopez was looking for the heat, didn't get it,
Yes.
and you know that was an awkward volley error, maybe her first in the set.
Absolutely. But that's just the value of mixing up the pace, Patty, keeping your opponents guessing, not knowing what they're about to receive.
Hit. Hit. Hit it. In.
Nice early call, warning partner of the blitz coming. Burus was starting to move in, and then just slowly backed up.
Hit it. Hit it again.
Wow, another great nick get by Elliott.
Yo, hit. Hit it. Yo. Hit. Hit, yup. Yo. Got it. Go.
I'd love to see Burus take a step up, especially when Patty is moving to her left, hitting some of these overheads. I feel like there's opportunities for that pressure, high percentage pressure we're talking about. Great ball. And we talked about Patty earlier. We've got Lopez and Pejic on opposite sides where they typically return from. We've got Pejic now in the deuce side in the pink leggings, and Lopez is in the ad. So kind of forces Elliott and Burus to recalibrate, figure out where their targets are given that the players switched. far over Elliott moves to give Burus full visual of the court. Can place that basically wherever she wants. Feel like the longer the point, Patty, the greater the stake.
Mm-hmm.
It's a phenomenal deuce point, especially after having two set points for Page and Lopez. It's a really great point.
Really
Just
good
super
overhead,
patient.
right?
Yeah.
That overhead that Burus just unleashed on right there. That was a huge
Yep.
play. And Paige,
So smart.
yeah, Paige was coming out to try to defend that ball. She looked like she still had a grip for her topspin forehand. She didn't really quite have her paddle in a position where she could just let it pop off her paddle and get back in play.
Yep,
But I love the combination from Burus
absolutely.
pushing Paige all the way deep against that back screen and then unleashing that roller.
So smart. And she did it at a high percentage time. That lob was just short enough. She's able to step in, balance. She's gonna bring it, or she can bring it. That's the thing I like. She's mixing it up beautifully. Her overheads. Okay.
I think most shots Lynn Burus gets are high percentage, Denise.
That's true.
I feel like it's a totally different scale.
I would agree with you 100%. Great get by Lopez.
Yeah, you see how she had that paddle open
I
up
mean-
and was able to keep that point going. And this is what they did yesterday in their win over Anderson Zabori. Just every time you had those moments, they just were able to keep another ball in play, get another ball back. A lot to be said for that, Denise.
Yes.
Update on the men's semis. On the other court, Denise,
Yeah.
McNerney Morgan just grabbed a 4-3 lead in the second set. Regalado Salazar had won the first 6-3. The match started the day before yesterday, and it's still going.
That's amazing.
I like that you laugh at my stuff, Denise.
It's good stuff, Patty. Come on. Yeah. Adam Morgan is and McNerney. I mean, they're just not. They're competitors through and through, and they're gonna grind it out and figure out a way. So it's not surprising to me. Is all I'm saying. I'm sure you'll be giving us another update in an hour or so. If this goes to 3.
Deuce!
Kind of feel like a little bit of frustration eking in here with Elliott Burus. Denise, you feel it?
Yeah, I think the frustration is, gosh, we worked so hard for that point. It's such a long point, and darn it, the execution wasn't there. But she also went for a different target than she normally does. She was going almost for that inside-out backhand, it appeared. I don't know if she just accidentally hit it late, or her target's normally center strap on her side of the net, about 2 feet from the center strap. And she deviated from that, and maybe that was why she missed the execution. I don't know. But I like her go-to target on that backhand. It can really handcuff the net team.
Look at the pressure. See how
I mean,
Lopez hit
yes.
those 3 shots, and she moved the shots. Moved it over 2 feet,
Yes.
2 feet, 2 feet. You know, I love
she's-
that variety of placement.
Absolutely. She's also consecutively taking little steps, taking that ball earlier and earlier and earlier. Look at that. I mean, same with Paige. Her shot, she flows into the blue. There's not a parallel movement from the baseline. Because now when you do that, most of the time it's a lot of arm. Such good targets. I mean, Patty, you know the game LCR, that little little dice game.
Yeah,
I always think of that when I think of these drive targets. It's left, right, center.
that's right.
They're just probing. Left hip, right hip, smack dab belly button, or between. Center can also be between them, but they're mixing their drives up. Lopez and Paige beautifully.
Are you with me that they like to play fast or slow?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a believer now.
Yeah. And Elliott and Burus are doing a phenomenal job volleying their.
Advantage
Nice.
out.
Again, that's another roller for Burus that caused a little problem for Paige over there in the deuce side.
And Paige plays mostly in the ad court, and then you see in
Yep.
that deuce court, there is a tendency to back up, and when Burus sees that she's really close to that back screen, that's the perfect time to pull in that roller, because that ball's just going to take off that back screen and, you know, head up into the court or to that side screen. Tough ball to catch up with, and again, she's got to have that grip where the paddle face is open so she can flick her wrist and pop that ball up. So advantage Burus and Elliott to get on the board here in the first set. Really good footwork from Paige to stay with that shot, keep backing up. Lopez was there to cover it.
Game, Burus and Elliott. Burus and
Okay.
Elliott. Leave that set. 1 game to 5.
I just heard I don't know who that came from, but that might have just been a thought bubble I heard of Elliott and Burus, that it's good to be on the board. So now they're like, okay.
Exactly, and they
you
needed
know,
it, whether they pull out
yes.
the set or not. It doesn't matter. They
First
need.
set stands Lopez Paige.
They needed
5 games
something.
to 1. Macy, do you want a new ball?
And a break of serve helps,
ball?
Denise.
Yes, yes. But that combination of Burus is, they're
New ball,
mixing up the
10,
spins and the pace, and that when they do catch Paige over there in that deuce side, I think when they've transitioned from the net, I think they have to remember that, and that should be their go-to, because that's been very effective. I think that's the second or third time they've caught Paige over there, and they're doing a great job of exposing that to make it happen more often.
So now, mindset, Elliott and Burus. We're coming back, right? Mm-hmm. They're coming
yeah.
back. It's a hole. It's a big hole.
Yeah, that's what they do, though. I mean, let's go. Let's start climbing one step at a time. I don't think they're looking at the top where they want to go. They're looking one step at a time, which is essentially 1 point at a time.
15 love.
Nice. Sometimes it can be daunting, Patty, when you don't have your mind in the present and you're just looking at, your focus is on outcome base instead of just point by point.
That's your philosophy on life, isn't it, Denise?
Yeah, it
Take
is.
it as it comes.
And make the most of it as you're traveling.
Exactly.
I like the switch there, bringing Elliott over to the right side, primary drive stopper.
15 all.
Really good placement of that drive. Got Elliott reaching just a little bit to her
Yeah.
left, and
Certainly. I am.
Yep, I would have loved to see her shoulders go with her paddle on that one. But that's, to Paige's
I'd like her feet
point.
to
I mean,
go with that
that's
one.
just yeah. Well, yes,
Both.
I agree.
They go
Where
together.
the shoulders go, your feet, yeah.
That's right.
So those are the things that need to be cleaned up at this point. It's tough. It's
rare miss.
I mean, a rare miss.
Does she have a
Rare.
fever?
No, it's
I've never
yeah.
seen her miss that shot.
Yeah. Wow, Lopez coming way over to pull the trigger on that forehand.
Well, that's the thing. She brings that. It's such a heavy drive, Denise.
Yes. You know, from 10,000 feet, you might say, gosh, she's bringing it. She's so far out of position. Why don't they just expose that side? It's like, well, her ball is so big. It's really, you're just getting that back middle of the court.
And look at that combination of
That's a
shots.
great
And,
move
40.
by Paige. Yep.
yeah, and that's where Paige and Lopez have such confidence in each other when they recognize that their partner has the ball of life and it's short. They're going to be able to get a dipping ball. They made the move, and they have such great hands. 2 set points for Lopez and Paige here.
I mean, Paige started moving once she saw the depth of that shot. It was
Game
well
and
before her
first
partner.
set go to Lopez and Paige. 6 games to 1.
So, Denise, we'll be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by Joho.
At Volley, we build tools to unlock your potential. The new Volley PTI feature breaks down your game like never before. Ever wondered, which partner has impacted my PTI the most? What's our win percentage as the favorite or underdog? Do I perform differently in 2 or 3 set matches? Now, it's all at your fingertips. The PTI tool is free to everyone. Download the Volley app today and level up your game. We'll see you on the court.
Welcome back to the APTA Tour. We're here at the Short Hills Invitational in Short Hills, New Jersey, with the women's finals. Our tournament number 1 seed team of Lynn Burus and Macy Elliott up against incredible play in the first set of B. Lopez and Taya Paige. Taya Paige and B. Lopez won that first set 6-1. Phenomenal performance by Paige and Lopez. Phenomenal high level of play by all the players. I mean, the score looks like there's a lot of separation, Denise. It doesn't feel like that, but just phenomenal play. And, I mean, the volleys, the consistency, the footwork, the coverage. Lopez and Paige, just, you know, they're firing on all cylinders.
Absolutely. And one could, I mean, if anybody's just tuning in here, you could look at the score and say, oh, man, Burus and Elliott are not having a good day. No, they're all 4 players on this court are playing phenomenally well. Most games have gone to deuce with multiple. I mean, I think the one game might have had 8 or 9 deuces in it. But at the end of the day, Lopez and Paige are just, at the end of the day, getting that last point and winning these games. So it'll be interesting to see here in the second set what adjustments that Burus and Elliott make to counter just those few points that are making a big difference in this game. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they've got. I like how both teams right now are taking time to chat about it. I'm sure Lopez and Paige are probably talking about things. Hey, this is working really, really well. Let's clean this up, etc. And I always say, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So they won that first set, you know, handily, and they're going to keep that up. On the flip side, Burus and Elliott are probably thinking, okay,
To serve.
if we clean up these few things or perhaps shift this strategy, adjust the strategy in just the smallest way, that can make a big impact in the game. All right, so taking us out right now is Paige serving, and Macy Elliott will be returning.
Denise, so, you know, we went on air and you made your pick. You picked the 2-time defending national champs, number 1 seed. Team has won 5 tournaments. What were you thinking?
Patty, would you be bringing this up if I end up picking Paige and Lopez? That is actually the real question here.
I just go with it.
I know what I was thinking. I'm thinking, and you know what? I'm keeping my pick. I'm not gonna waffle here. I was going back to exactly what I just said, which is, you know, most games went to deuce, and, you know, at the end of the day, Paige and Lopez are winning those key points to finish the games. But this is a very close match, even though the score does not reflect that. So, but it does worry me, Patty, that Lopez and Paige now are matching leggings, because that might be the X factor that makes the difference here. I don't know. They weren't matching before in the first set.
That's right.
Lopez
Lopez had to warm up, Denise.
Yeah, maybe she had a second pair on over it, or she went and changed real quick. I don't know, but we can no longer say the one in the pink leggings,
right.
which was Paige. That's not going to help much.
Yeah, the bright yellow sneakers.
Yes.
I actually think these first two games are gigantic in the second set, and we'll see what Paige and Lopez are made of, because it's on them right now in a weird way. Because even though Burus, Elliott, #1 seeds, Paige and Lopez just phenomenal first set, and it's these little tenuous moments early on that second set where you can really, you'll get a hint of what's to come as the set's going to evolve, I think. And I expect, I actually think they should stay away from Burus. I feel like Burus is bringing it toward the end of that set. It looked like she was looking to apply more pressure, and I think they might have to keep dumping some over to Macy Elliott in that deuce court. Don't give Lynn too much.
30-15.
In my mind, Patty, that's a opportunity for Burus to fly in. I mean, that was that screen drive was set up beautifully. I mean, Paige has a great serve, but given her target on that's set up for
40-15.
a monster screen drive. I would have loved to see Burus just apply the pressure in that way, because that is one of her many freakish strengths is her blitz, just coming in and applying pressure.
See that movement from Paige.
Game. Paige. Lopez and Paige win the first game of the second set.
Denise, I talked to it in the first set, but when
Lopez
Paige
and
is at the
Paige
net,
won the first set.
she's the player to the right if you're looking from behind the court, and Lopez
Yes.
is handling more of the overheads. Paige's ability to anticipate and move back and forward and back, depending on what Burus gives her, phenomenal. Like her footwork, I think, is making a big difference in this match, and it's just not giving. They're not able to create off of it. Where in so many matches against all the other teams that play, it's pretty effective.
Absolutely. It's when she reads and anticipates like that, moving forward or backward based on the quality shots that they're giving. She's just balanced. It's hard to create instability with a team that's always moving and adjusting based on the shots. So, and again, without saying it till I'm blue in the face, but when you're balanced, your rate of execution is just going to go up, bottom line. The likelihood of you missing your targets goes way down. Patty, do you think Elliott and Burus is there a distinct advantage for them being at the baseline or the net? Do you like them? Do you think their percentage of winning points is favored differently depending on if they're at the baseline or the net?
I kind of feel like the
Love 15.
volleying today from Lopez Paige just rocks. I mean, they're so quick and they're really disciplined, and they're you said it earlier, they hit a lot of quiet volleys. They kind of lower themselves and absorb the pace of the ball. So in a way, I think Burus, Elliott are better off at the net.
$15 all.
You know what I mean?
I would
Because-
agree. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Or they have to get to the net, I think,
They-
to
yes.
win the second set. And that's a great little drop shot here.
Yep. Macy was right on top of the net, and that's what
15-30.
allowed that to be such a great shot because it's very hard. I think that's the first ball, Patty, we've seen that's like an outright winner that did not get a paddle on it. That's how fast Lopez and Pejic are. Everything. They're retrieving and getting back. It's the first ball that did not come back.
Lauren Lopez and Paige, all four of these women, top-level teaching pros around the country. B. Lopez, born in Barcelona, Spain. She teaches over at the beautiful Orange Lawn Tennis Club. She played college tennis, which is no mystery, at Columbus State University in Georgia. I mean, what the racket skills these women bring to the table, phenomenal. Taya Page, which is born in Croatia. She teaches at Stanford Yacht Club, played college tennis at Ole Miss. Burus and Elliott, you mentioned Burus is the new director over at Plainfield
30
Country
all.
Club. And Macy Elliott's, she's the director up at Rolling Hills Country Club up in Wilton, Connecticut. Speaking of Wilton, shout out to the Wilton Rollers, one of my favorite teams who will be participating in the Team Nationals. Denise, the first weekend in April.
Fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, Patty, you were saying that for the Team Nationals, when it opened, there was how many women signed up like the first day?
Well, we said we'll open it to 60 teams, and by the second day, we had 60 teams. So there's a lot of people. We want to try to accommodate as many players as possible. So if you still want to get a team in, put your name, sign up on the APTA website. One player from your team can sign up. And if we can work some magic and get some more paddle courts
40,
and facilities in this area by April, we'll accommodate more teams.
Yep. So the women are in New Jersey and the men will be in Chicago
Oh, yeah.
with Mike Raleigh running that show. So
Out of Exmoor.
that's such a great event, the Team Nationals. So fun. I popped in last year to check out the action, and you said it before, I couldn't figure out like when the player they're having more fun inside the wires playing their awesome game or outside just enjoying the camaraderie and the party that's being hosted.
Game,
Wow, what a
Burus and
great,
Elliott.
that's a great game.
Second set stands one game each.
Wow,
Wow.
way to fight for those
Yeah.
volleys by Elliott. Holy cow.
You know, you look at these
That's
women.
big.
Denise, these women are so good. They have so many offensive weapons. But
Yes.
I'm just floored by their defensive skills, and that's why they're two of the top teams in the game, because they just can play defense. They can be in a huge hole and come up with an amazing rackets play and extend the point.
Absolutely. So Patty, what we were just talking about in the last service game, I love, Macy hit a classic awesome return, and Lynn came in and
15
blitzed on it, and they
love.
took the net. I know that was a phenomenal shot that didn't pan out in the long run, but that's the type of pressure and plays that I would love to see them continue to do, because it's so effective.
15 all.
Get a little view of Adam Morgan back there digging out of the corner.
30-15.
Oh yeah, they're in a battle, and Morgan McNerney are up 5-4 in the second set.
Which started an hour and a half before this match went on. Just for the viewers who are tuning in here. It's a battle. They might be saying the same thing about this match, Patty. You never know.
That's right.
40-15.
So again, that's B. Lopez in the bright yellow sneakers. And her partner,
Yes.
Taya Page. Macy Elliott about to clock that return to serve from the deuce court on the far side. And there's Lynn Burus over in that ad court corner.
Lopez. Lopez and Page lead the second set, 2-1. Lopez and Page won the first set, 6-1.
I like the look. But if we were to chart this match, Patty, with the amount of drives missed or made by Burus and Elliott when they're able to just even take one step in versus standing still or moving parallel, I think would be shocked at the. I don't know if they've even missed a drive that they are able to move into. But I feel like they're just pulling the trigger on some shots that maybe they just don't have time to collect themselves and to move forward. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with everything you say, Denise.
Wow, Patty.
Just wide. Just wide.
That's amazing.
Love 15.
I'm going to get really creative here in the rest of the match. Start saying some crazy stuff.
Did you ask me a question? No. I might have been slightly distracted, Denise, when you asked me that question. I
Oh, no, you
apologize.
weren't. No, you agree with everything I'm
I
saying.
agree.
I'm going with that.
And I know how to bluff.
Love 30.
I know you were totally focused.
Just out. That's why they didn't play it. Just out.
Now, I was saying the rate of execution between, if we were to chart the errors when Elliott or Burus are driving, when they're able to impose themselves and they're able to step into their drives first, moving parallel. I don't even know if they've missed the drive when they're able to step into it.
I would say they're as offensive as any team out here in the women's game. They bring the heat
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
all the time. I think that's what you're referring to.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I picked them to win this match. Nothing to do with the fact that you picked Burus and Elliott first. And if you gave me first pick, see, I deferred. We had that coin toss.
You did.
And I deferred. I decided to receive.
You got it. Hit. You. Come on. Yo. Come on. You got it.
It's interesting that Lopez is moving to her left to hit that ball back into Burus' courting. Sometimes I keep thinking when she's overcalling that, she's going to bring it over to Elliott and the deuce side. But she's going a little down up on Burus. Like there, right there.
$15.30.
And that was great patience and digs by Burus and Elliott. And that's what can happen when that person on the right side slides over and tries to go back into the side wires.
30 all.
But just like anything, Patty, these four players are so incredibly talented that they could pretty much, what the average Joe is considered low percentage is different. There's different rules for them.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of times, like it's almost like don't do this at home, but they make it happen consistently. Great. I like the load on those last two overheads by Burus. Just really getting those legs involved, to your point, Patty, you mentioned earlier. So important on these overheads, especially when you're hitting an offensive overhead, not just trying to neutralize the point.
30-40.
What an unbelievable dipping forehand she just hit there.
Yep.
I mean, Burus
And
was
to
on
combine that,
was so
yeah.
close to the net.
So close.
Game, Lopez and Page. Lopez and Page lead the second set 3 games to 1.
And Denise, the thing that I marvel at with Paige and Lopez as ball strikers with all these ground strokes is Burus and Elliott they're not clear where the ball's coming. Like, they can't pick up on their shots necessarily. I think that because Lopez and Paige can hit some heavy balls, and they can really hit it up the line, cross court, middle, they understand the nuances of it. They know when to take pace off. They can get that dipping ball. And, I mean, you just never see Lynn Burus miss a volley like that, that close to the net. But I just think she was thinking something else, and all the credit to Lopez on her execution.
Absolutely. But that was combined with Paige was creeping in too, and I think Lynn was going for a drop shot there and might have seen her at the corner of her eye. I mean, there's lots of factors. There's the pressure, there's the pace, there's everything, including Paige starting to creep in. So lots of factors involved, which just increases the level of difficulty to make that volley. Gosh.
15 love.
Denise,
I mean, they're dialed in on those things.
Yeah, they're dialed in. So I'm thinking this is a good time. One more shout out for Brian Skinner, our tournament chair, Crystal Skinner, the Browns, Diane and Jerry, Christina Bowen, Mark Embrick, Mike Davis, the phenomenal
30 love.
volunteer group who put together this tournament. 7 events within the Short Hills Invitational starting on Friday morning. Just an organizational feat to pull this all off. And kudos also to the entire staff of Short Hills Club, Glenn Gang, general manager, and all of the staff. Wonderful, welcoming hospitality as always. Just a really fun weekend for all the players and all the spectators. So thanks Short Hills Club for pulling off another event, the 73rd Short Hills Invitational.
That's super cool. It definitely takes a village. They put on a great event here. Wow, good move by Elliott coming in. Wow, that little flick.
40
She
love.
made that.
I mean, look at where she finished, Patty. This is the right point. I mean, she got that little crazy flick, but then bam, she's just stepping in and taking time away, and it just adds so much power too when she's moving into that ball. It's just so tough.
And I was saying earlier how Macy Elliott is such a phenomenal player when she's up in the right on top of the net, how she just comes up with
40,
incredible
15.
hands. But, again, because of the variety of the shots that Lopez and Paige are hitting, Burus and Elliott both, aren't quite as dialed in on their volleys as they normally are. But that's all the credit to the consistency,
exactly.
the power, the spins from Paige and Lopez.
Game, Lopez and Paige. Lopez and Paige lead the second set 4 games to 1. Lopez and Paige won the first set 6 games to 1.
All right, Patty, a little word from our awesome sponsor, Corient. Corient is excited to partner with the APTA because, whether as advisors to our members or as members themselves, they are already part of the APTA community. Learn more at www.corient.com, the official wealth sponsor of the APTA. Easy for me to say. All right, Patty, with your amazing experience, knowledge of the game, legend, if you are Burus and Elliott, what are you thinking right now?
Okay, did you just ask me another question and I was distracted and talking to someone else? That could have just happened, but I heard the
amazing.
second part of your question. What would I do if I could whisper in their ear right now?
Yes, if they were mic'd up. If they were mic'd up, what would you say to them?
When you say slow it down and hope they miss, that's kind of the formula for people to like crawl back into matches and out of holes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just feel like they got to bring it a little bit more. But,
Yep.
I I picked Paige and Lopez to win this match because you didn't give me a choice. And and Denise, my Venmo's at Patty Hogan. But usually you win these kinds of bets. But seriously, I mean, they have to hope that the level of play drops from Lopez and Paige,
15
quite frankly.
love.
I don't feel like they can beat them right now. They just have to hope their level, Lopez and Paige's level, drops off a little bit. But I don't see that happening. And there was a moment with the Hanish Sabori semifinal where Lopez Page went up 4-2 in the second set. And I said it, that I thought that, this is their moment as a team, that they have an opportunity to close out the number 2 team in the country. And that's a skill. That's something you learn. And
30
clearly,
love.
I think they've got it now. And so, you gotta hope they cool off, I think. They need a lot of cooperation, I think, to come back in this. I didn't feel like after that first set, Denise, that there was a ton of separation. And I still don't feel like there's much at all. Just phenomenal play. Just a high-level women's paddle match. Maybe the best match we've seen this year.
That's the move.
30,
That is a great
15.
move.
I mean, I don't say the best match. It's not like, 7-6, 6-7, 7-6 at this point or anything like that. But just the level of play is
It's
outstanding.
unbelievable. And just there, like Paige backing off, you've got Burris interface like coming in, and she just handles that reflex defensive volley beautifully, and elicits an error from Burris. But it was a great pressure move by Burris. Paige just came up with an unbelievable volley, which I'm saying unbelievable, but it is believable because that's what they've been doing the entire match. Their defense is just unmatched. Both Lopez and Paige just are able to scramble and make lemonade out of lemons all the time.
40-15.
Great ball by Elliott, just leading in, keeping her hands super quiet. Great. This is just a great point.
Denise, what would you tell Burris and Elliott?
Game, Burris.
It's a great point. I would.
Set stance, Lopez, Page, 4 games. Burris, Elliott, 2 games.
You mentioned, slowing it down, waiting for a mistake. I would say slow it down and just wait for the right opportunities to strike. Like they need to, I don't want to say press, but there's opportunities there,
Ladies,
but
fresh
they're
ball.
not
Rub for
taking
one if
it.
you want.
Like Macy's still hitting, so
Yeah,
she's hitting great probing drives. On the return of serve, I think there's opportunities for Burris to come in and then get herself more involved and apply more pressure.
Whatever you want to do.
I like the off-speed ball there from Elliott that she,
Yes.
that off-speed. I think Paige and Lopez clearly love power. They do not. Power and spin doesn't phase them.
Yeah.
But the only volley errors they've made is when they've been a little bit out in front on a ball at times from an off-speed ball hit.
Yes.
I think from Elliott in this match, and so maybe if they can, work that combination a little bit.
Yes. Just keep hunting.
Love 15.
Yeah, definitely. There's like a, I like the serve goes wide and Elliott's like immediately like walking quickly over to Burus, giving her a high five.
15 all.
Right. Missed ball, but I like that.
Yeah. She just missed. And I
She
think that's
just
where she
missed.
just had to nail someone at their feet.
Yes, and keep moving forward because actually when she got to the ball, she kind of faded parallel with the net instead of just kept moving into that ball on the blitz. Nice little switch at the net, getting Lopez on the left side, Page on the right.
Hit. I got it. Ready. You please hit it.
So cordial. You please. Thank you.
I love a partner who says please and thank you.
Such good
got it.
manners.
Hit it. In.
It's a great move by Elliott. Picked a really good time to come in.
You can tell Paige is feeling it. Did you see that little two-hander she had
Oh, yeah.
off balance? And she's like, I got this.
But this is when Page is on that deuce side. This is when that roller can be effective. Coming from
Yeah,
Burus.
they're, I think, really smart to
yeah.
call the switch back.
Yep. Again, those little things like that, Patty, to me are just yet another sign of Lopez and Page's growth since the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Just constantly learning and like raising the bar.
Putting themselves in the optimal position whenever they
Yes.
can dictate that.
Yes. Great volley by Burus. Wow. She made that look easy. That was a monster forehand.
It's coming back.
Whoopsie.
That's
Hey,
such a-
Denise, I got that
that's
shot.
30-15. Yeah, it came right back.
Just a
You
bummer.
know, these players are so good. They make, they
Yeah.
make monster grip changes, take wild
Yep.
swings, and it's amazing it doesn't happen more often.
Yep, it just went off the tip of her paddle. But that was a great point that they had developed there. And all four players played it beautifully. I just hate to see it
30
end on
all.
a shot like that. But to your point, Patty, when you generate that amount of paddle head speed and rotation on the ball, it's bound to happen. There was one tournament, Patty, I launched 8 balls out. It was at Glenview Golf Club.
It
I'm like,
happens.
they're going to charge me extra next year.
That's
for
right.
the balls. Yeah, we want Denise in the. Yeah, that's going to cost her another $50.
Yo. Nine. In. Hit.
And just for the record, I'm not comparing my game to any of these four.
I don't think there's very many women on the
just got-
planet who we can compare to these four.
I just wanted to make that clear.
Hit it. Hit it. Yo, stay there.
Nice communication.
Right here. Come on.
40-30.
Again, Patty, you don't want to play points any differently necessarily, like at a huge swing, but this is a very important point. Like
Oh,
every
yeah.
point, they should be playing smart. They should always have big shots, safe targets. But 5-2 versus 4-3, when you've already lost the first set 6-1.
Yep. But I love what Burus Elliott did. They brought it there. You see they took
Yes.
over the net.
Yes.
And, Paige and Lopez
like that.
was smart to drop back, and then they just kind of handled it, and they kept moving themselves back to get to the baseline. But again, the one vulnerable spot is the Burus overhead into that deuce court corner where that thing just hits like a rocket and comes out. That's the only weak spot in the defense that Paige and Lopez have, on display here in this match.
But it's when Paige
Advantage
has,
out.
they're brought from the front court to the back court. They have that transition, and Paige is in the deuce side. It seems to be particularly Burus's roller overhead is really causing problems over there for her.
Yeah, it's just Paige has a tendency to play a little deep, and I just don't think she gets under that ball to be able to flick it up. And you can kind of feel Macy Elliott and inserting herself here. And
I like this. I like it a lot.
Yeah, a lot of pressure. She didn't execute at the beginning of the game, but then she did the next one, and you could just feel her intensity. I think.
Yes.
Stands. Lopez, Page 4, Burus and Elliott 3. Lopez and Page won the first set, 6-1.
I really like the, again, applying the high percentage pressure. Not just pressure just to apply pressure. We need to do this, but really being selective in their choices, and I like it. Just in that game alone, they took over the net a number of times. So I think they're onto something. I think they need to continue to play within themselves and keep asserting when the time is right. And so far in the last couple games, they've really dialed it in.
I mean, Burus Elliott won 2 games in a row for the first time in this match.
Yes. And again, 3-4. That's a lot easier to swallow than 2-5 when you've already lost the first set. So they're pumped. I feel like there's been a little shift in energy between Elliott and Burus. Like they've got a little pep in their step. A lot of high fives. Their body language is indicating that they're like, okay, let's go. We can do this. And we will see. Burus does such a great job, Patty, of when she's pulled to her right, hitting that overhead. Because Elliott's getting over, she's just able to put the ball right in front of Elliott. So if a drive is coming, she's setting her partner up for success because she's going to be more balanced. She's already there.
It's just incredible how it's like a flip of the switch, Denise. And all of a sudden, if you didn't know and you just joined this match, you'd be shocked that Burus and Elliott weren't winning.
Yes. No, I was just thinking the same thing, Patty. For viewers who are just tuning in.
What a rip from Lopez out of that deuce court in those bright yellow sneakers. That's your partner, Taya Page, to the right of our screen on the far side. Macy Elliott over in that ad court, and Lynn Burus in the deuce court on the near side. Lopez and Page get ranked number 4 in the country coming into the Short Hills Invitational. I'll be curious, if they can move up in the rankings with this, performance in the finals here and reaching the finals. They had no points to defend for their national rankings, so every single week, the more tournaments they play, and they've had such success. I think this is their 3rd or 4th final of the year. They're inching their way up in the national rankings, and I don't know if their final here allows them to overtake Morgan and Socorro. I'm not sure. They were neck and neck, 3 and 4 in the country. Okay, now Denise, I don't know if you just heard from my friend Brad Easterbrook, who's nearby. He was so excited. The men's semifinal, which started at 10 after 9. 6-3, Salazar won the first set. Salazar, Regalado, McNerney, Morgan just came back from down 6-5 to get it into a tiebreaker, 6-all.
Oh my gosh. It's a battle.
It's so
on
long.
both
If it
these
goes,
courts.
if it goes 3, Lauren, Denise, they may need reinforcements for
15-0.
everything. Umpires.
Yeah.
Brad may need a break. He's doing a lot of talking today.
That's just such a good paddle all the way around, Patty. When you
Yeah,
go
I
deep in
mean-
a strong tournament like Short Hills, these players are
Oh yeah.
are playing to win, and they've got the skills and tools to just lengthen these points like nobody else. It's interesting.
Phenomenal showing. I mean, that's why
Yes.
Short Hills is such a
30,
unique
15.
event in our sport. All the great players are here. So fun. So the switch is definitely up for Burus and Elliott here.
It's such a smart ball to put up to give Elliott and Burus time to get back. Really heads up. If she would have kept that ball low, she would have been stuffed. So smart of Elliott.
No, just back. 30 all.
All right, what serves Macy going to go with? The big one
And-
or the push?
I think she's going push, but I don't know.
Going big.
That's the-
Oh no,
That's
She faked me out. She faked me out.
No, but that's to your point. That's yet another tool to keep your opponents off balance. Like they're setting up, ready to return. They're like, wait, are we going to get the push that she can put on a dime and place anywhere, or are we going to get the big one that we need to, adjust our timing for if we're going to bring offense? So
Right.
now, if she did the push every time, Patty, I think it would be a different story because they would adjust and they would know exactly what's coming. So that variation in the pace and spin is really, really effective.
4-3 second set, 30 all. Huge point.
I'd like Macy just coming in like that. Yes. Just regardless of what she gets, if she decides to drive, she's going to be in there and taking time away from Pejic and Lopez, the volley.
Yeah, and that constant pressure, you force your opponent to kind of watch you a little bit as opposed to the ball.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can just force a miss just for that reason.
I just feel like the court just feels smaller
Okay.
when you've got. Oh, there we go. We got
The
Paige
switch.
slid back into the
Right.
the ad side, which was a smart move. Great spot for Paige to drive to, and Elliott came up with an awesome volley.
Why? Why?
30, 40.
She hit the ball to Lopez. She fed the ball, I was going to say, because she
Yeah.
knew she was going to bring the heat, and Macy loves that encounter, and she sort of sets that up with a lot of players. I've seen her do that for a couple of years here.
Yeah.
Just didn't quite come up with that volley. Break point. Huge moment.
Deuce.
So really great overhead and an amazing time to get that nick that just flies down. Great shot by Elliott. All right, reset deuce here. Macy Elliott to serve. B. Lopez returning.
I like that cutoff. That was a big cutoff from Burrs there, even though it was a dipping ball. I thought that was a great play to give Macy a chance to not
Advantage, Elliott.
have to volley up and be worried about
Yep.
Paige moving in.
Absolutely. And that was a heads up. Elliott was right on the net, ready for that drive. That was a really, really important point. Burus and Elliott definitely look more settled at the net, Patty. I feel like their positioning. When they are kind of leaning for the ball, it's when they're moving to it. They're not stretching on the average drive in the middle of the point, and that's really helping them in their execution and hitting the right targets on their volleys. It's got a lot of spin on it. Good anticipation by Elliott. Again, moving towards the net on her volley.
Yep, Lopez and Page have to focus on when they do lob.
Deuce!
They've got to get the ball deeper. I feel like it's gotten short
Yep.
again, and you just see
Yes.
Burus and Elliott really comfortable on top of the net. So I think just when they have a routine ball, they have to lob it better. And I'd love to see Paige throw up one lob. I feel like now they're closing in on her and just kind of mess with them a little bit and just try to wrong foot them. But it's hard, you know. She's a ball striker. She just wants to keep hitting. But sometimes, you know, if your opponents are making that adjustment, you can kind of mess with them a little bit by throwing up that lob when, even though you have a ball that you can easily drive.
Yep, I always say just because you can doesn't mean you should.
That's
You
right.
know, if your opponents are positioning and anticipating a drive, that your good drive that you're going to feel really nice about is going to end up hurting you when a team like Burus and Elliott is ready to receive.
You got it. You got it. No.
Just wide.
Wow.
Advantage out.
Wow.
That was a heads-up call by Lopez, calling your partner off that. Paige was getting ready to hit that. So, again, great team move there.
Good teamwork, Denise. We love that.
Yes. We do love that, Patty. Just like you and I, Patty,
Oh, you got it.
teaming up here. Oh, wow. That
A great rip through the middle. Lopez
Game,
is pumped.
Lopez Page. Lopez Page lead the second set 5-3.
I mean,
Lopez Page won the first set 6-1.
that was an Adam Morgan fist pump right there from B. Lopez.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah, there's
Taya
a lot of...
Yep. Taya Page
of
trying to
emotion.
serve it out, Denise. Up 5-3 after winning the first set 6-1. Tournament number 4 seeds. Looking to take out the number 1 team in the country after taking out the number 2 team in the
15
country
love.
in yesterday's semifinal with their win over Hanish and Sabori.
Elliott just missed that wide. These volleys would... A good volley will do. It doesn't need to be great. I'd love to see those volleys staying inside the single sidelines.
Yep. That was good help from Lopez on that first volley. That ball was dipping from Burus. I didn't see Macy move in and apply pressure, but I like that she cut the ball off for Paige.
Like that little crafty chip, Patty. And it led to a secondary drive. It's a smart play.
Oh, what a rip from Burus right there. That was
15
huge.
all.
And that's where I think they just had to throw that ball up there. Back in transition, just put that ball up. Hard to resist going for that drive, but
Yeah, I know.
at this point, up 5-3, throw it up. Keep the point going. It's working to your advantage for the most part. Keep it going.
See, I think there's opportunities here, Patty. When Paige is going back for overheads, moving to her left, she's very limited of what she can do with that ball. And I'd love to see Burus Elliott just, like, again, continue to put pressure on, whether it's coming in or stepping up looking to hit that drive.
Yeah, but I think like collectively they've agreed, let's just play the longest point of our year right now.
Whoa. I wish I had a clicker in my hand to count the number of lobs.
107, Denise.
See, now coming in on when Paige moves straight back, she's actually way more balanced than she would be if she was fading back to her left. And with Lopez on her left, it negates like any major cross court shot that she could hit to Elliott because she would be moving to her left.
Yeah, I think her play from that spot on the court is a big difference in this match.
Love that. Burus is just calmly there.
15-30.
Okay.
It was too easy.
You know. It's like, I mean, to your point, patience. They're just, Burus and Elliott are just throwing up. Like, honestly, how many lobs do you think that they just hit in that one point?
I don't even know.
What are you guessing? Seriously.
I had it at 107. I stopped counting.
You've got the clicker in your hand.
That's right.
I mean, they're consistently just getting their feet beyond the service line, whether it's one or both. And especially for club players, I think that's a great, like, it's not the baseline they're aiming for. It's just simply the amount of options that Paige and Lopez have to inflict pain are very low when they're beyond the service line. But right there, boom, first short lob, that's going to cause trouble. All right, Taya Paige serving 30-all. They're up 5-3 after winning the first set 6-1. So good. Again, early communication by all four players, so important. They're doing it beautifully. Staying organized.
Yep, and you just see the player to the right just sliding out of the way so that the person hitting the overheads doesn't have to rush, can pick and choose, can assess the positioning of the baseline players, hit their shot beautifully, and here we have our first championship point for Lopez and Paige. Watch out.
So good. So smart. Again, to just let that ball go through instead of trying to volley that. It's a heads-up play by Lopez.
Deuce!
That was a huge point for Elliott and Burus. Huge.
That's right. How do you spell that?
I just like saying it like that. Huge.
It's pronounced differently in the Midwest.
It's a great little combo.
Advantage out.
Wow.
Okay.
And again, she was moving so much to her left, she ran out of court there, and maybe
Yes.
just take a little something off that ball.
Such good serves. Paige just so consistently places that awesome serve.
You know, you can't argue with the strategy from Burus Elliott. They've totally slowed down, and they're not applying any pressure. And they've gotten a little cooperation from Pejic and Lopez here. Just a little.
Just a little.
And that's
right.
all they need, just a little. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's so
because-
hard to maintain that high level of play. And they just kind of were waiting for the little bit of a dip, I think.
Go, go, go! Yo.
That ball coming from Macy's forehand over there on the deuce side it's generated probably 3 miscommunications between them. Just gets a little. And again, you might think, oh, 3, that's not that bad. But in a match like this, Patty, we've been talking about how close each one of these games are, despite the overall score. Can make a big difference. I mean, it's like we're really grabbing at straws here because Lopez and Paige have been so incredibly solid that
It's just amazing, Denise, how calm all 4 players appear. This is so intense. This is like nationals finals, it feels like.
yeah. I mean, Burus and Elliott look so calm. It could be like teaching a drill right now of working on their clients' overheads. I mean, they just are just flowing beautifully, letting the balls go to the screens, putting up nice, consistent, solid lobs. And as a result, boom, gives them an opening. Now they're back at the net, Burus and Elliott. It's a great move. Again, Paige started moving into the court, Patty, before her partner even hit the ball. That's what allows her. Now she's making contact with that blitzing volley inside, well inside the service box. That allows her to hit down on that ball. So beautiful anticipation and great setup by her partner, Lopez.
You know, it comes down to that word, trust. They have ultimate trust in each other.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, to make a move forward and you're facing Burus and Elliott, you know, take some nerve.
Oh, yeah. That's the worst, though, when you're making your way in and you're like, oh, fudge. Like, this is going to be a hard one to get back. When that drive goes a little bit higher than perhaps you want. Back to deuce here. That was a big point.
I like what Elliott did. She showed pressure and then dropped back. It
Yep.
wasn't there, and she didn't have temporary paralysis and didn't know what to do next. She just got out of town.
Very
Great
smart.
lob from Burus.
Yep. The vet play.
Yeah, that's good. Lopez and Page have to be careful here.
Wide. That was wide. It was wide. Yeah. Advantage out.
And I think that the overhead, the lob before, where I thought Lopez should have taken the ball, Page, backed off and took it.
Yes.
She made it, but then she missed the next one because they were a little bit out of sorts right in that moment.
Yes.
That's game, Burus and Elliott.
Hey.
Second set stands. Lopez, Page 5. Burus and Elliott 4. Lopez and Page won the first set, 6-1.
3 games in a row for Burus Elliott.
Yep.
Just an amazing match, Denise. I mean,
It really is.
So fun to watch.
Yeah, all 4 players. This is just an awesome display of talent and a great representation of what this game's all about. I mean, just such a high level of sportsmanship and ability being displayed here. It's fun calling this match. All right, so
The women in pink, they're trying to get that bounce back in their step over there, Denise.
yes. All right, Lynn Burus to take us out in this 10th game. They are currently down 4-5 in the second set. And B. Lopez returning on the deuce side. I love how Elliott, they immediately switch. Elliott just flows through that overhead and gets right in position.
They got to be careful. The lobs kind of got short there.
Oh, wow.
And
15 love.
I think sometimes in these moments, you got to go back to the fundamentals. And, they lobbed so well early on, and that opened up everything for them.
Yes.
And, so you can't just have the mentality of get the ball back, get the ball back. You've got to be a little bit more purposeful, throw some air under it, get some more height. Just give yourselves a little bit more setup time and create some more looks for yourself potentially. See, I like that. I like that lob. A lot of hang time, and then, it takes away
30 love.
what they can do on the overheads a little bit. And Burus, just kind of picked up on that, something from Page right there and just laid it in there. And, a misfire from Page out of that ad court. So that switch, that switch for Burus Elliott, what was it, 5-2, Denise?
Yes.
3 games in a row. They're on to something here now.
Well, to your point, Patty, you mentioned it after the first set. Just looking for Lopez and Page to give them just anything, throw them a bone, because they were played so incredibly consistent in that first set and were giving up like next to nothing. And now Elliott and Burus are starting to extract some mistakes from the Page Lopez team, and so we'll see. As a result, all these games have been so darn close, but as a result, Burus and Elliott are down a game, but they've won 3 in a row. Great hands.
Yep, started with a better lob in there.
just the lobbing's just so good. Like, just so consistently pulling them at or beyond the service line. It's a great call, good move.
30-15.
And Burus got the shot she wanted, Denise.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't mind the take. I mean, she's moving into the court. That ball's in front of her. She just missed it, but it's a good decision. So I'm sure that's the one she's looking for.
30-15. 30-15.
It's a great ball.
A little indecisive shot from Lopez. I think it just had to be a lob. You know, Burus was right on top of the net. Anything off speed was not going to do her any good.
I agree. But sometimes, you know, Patty, when you get iced out like that, sometimes when you get a ball, you're like, okay.
Right.
And you have to fight that tendency to really do something significant with it. With a lot of times, it just needs to be yet another lob.
You know, you don't think of Burus, Elliott working their way back into a match because of their lobbing, but that's kind of what's happened here. You know, they've gone a total slowdown.
And just kind of sending that ball back over the deuce side to keep Lopez honest over there, not having her slide a little bit too far.
Second
Wow,
set
that was
stands tied at 5-0.
a really big game.
Lopez and Pejic won the first set, 6 games to 1.
I mean, okay, if you're Lopez and Pejic, Denise, what do you say right now? Tie your shoes. That's what I would tell them.
Uh-huh. Even though they don't need to be tied, just tie them. Untie
exactly.
and tie.
They need to.
Yeah.
They have to kind of control the match a little bit, kind of psychologically a little bit. And I think just doing this and taking some time, you know, they're well aware they've lost 4 games in a row. So now go back to fundamentals and hold serve.
Yep. Yes.
And glance over at your significant other on the next court. Going into his 4th hour, that's Alvi Regalado. They're just about at the 4-hour mark in the men's semis. Regalado Salazar won the first set 6-3. They're in a brawl tiebreaker, tied at 10-all right now, Denise.
Holy cow.
But most importantly, you can see Pejic and Lopez taking a ton of time here.
Yes.
Lopez to serve.
But I think that was the right move for them. They had to stop
Yes.
the momentum that we could just feel from Burus, Elliott.
Wow. That was a
Team
great
love.
get by Burus. It's a great volley. B. Lopez serving. Then Burus
Tino.
She normally goes to try to get it to Lynn's backhand. She's changing up her targets. Just barely missed that wide.
Yeah, Elliott just had to let that ball
30-15.
go. I don't know if it was going to be good or not, but Burus was
Yeah.
right there. But
A
she had a
little
lot
bit
of
too
momentum,
far.
Denise.
She did. She did. That's where almost like you want to just cruise past it, let the momentum go. Lynn puts up a lob, and then Elliott just comes on back to the ad side of the court. It's a great ball by Burus.
Yep, it's that pressure. She just took her shot right at, right at Pejic on that return to serve and followed it in, took over the net. Wow.
Wow.
That's, oh my God, that was huge. And they were fortuitous to have Lopez over in that deuce court at that point because,
Well, they had just switched, yes.
yep, and She's got that quickness. She's got a little more experience, a lot of experience. She's a mixed national champ, defending mixed national champ with Alvi Regalado. She played a lot of that deuce court, came up with amazing play last year in mixed nationals to win it, and you just saw it on display right there. And McNerney and Morgan won the tiebreaker in the second set.
Oh my gosh.
Brad Easterbrook just grew a mustache here, sitting next to me calling this match.
Is his hair getting a little whiter too, Patty?
A little bit.
That's a great
40,
overhead.
30.
I sound like a broken record, but yet another big point here, Patty.
There's been a lot of them, Denise.
It's
You go.
just
You call it like you
riddled
see
with
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
great rip right through the middle there. You can see Lopez wanted no part of that first volley.
very smart to let that go.
Wow.
Game Lopez and Page. Second set stands Lopez and Page 6 games to 5. Lopez and Page won the first set 6 games to 1.
Thanks to
All right.
Carol Ewerton, our umpire, APTA umpire, and all the APTA staff. We've got Jackie Cameron, tour director, Cindy's here, Ann's here, Karen's here. Everybody's all here doing a great job to help execute a phenomenal tournament, the Short Hills Invitational. Always one of the best events of the year. And the play here, it doesn't disappoint.
Elliott to serve.
Incredible.
No.
Incredible. 4 hours going. I think that men's third set of that semi could take another 2 hours.
Yes. It's a great take again by Burus off of Elliott's serve. And make no mistake about it, that was a phenomenal return by Lopez. I like Burus's positioning on that. She slid over just a little bit more to her left to make sure that doesn't happen again. That ball sliding through down the line. If she happens to overhit a roller. Again, Page and Lopez have significantly slowed down their play at the baseline as well. They would normally be pulling the trigger and moving in on a number of these balls, but they're settling in as well, putting up a lot of lobs, making Elliott and Burus play.
Yeah, they really have to because Burus and Elliott are kind of on top of the net, and like we said.
Yes.
You know, the lobbing set a little shorter, and that's helped Burus and Elliott come back in the second set.
15 love.
Great play, great control on those overheads. Most of them coming off of Burus's paddle. And then Elliott is doing her part, staying right up there. A couple of those, like I said, like previously that we would have expected a drive, but Elliott's just right there waiting for it. So switch at the net again, bringing Elliott on the right-hand side. Great volleys. Burus just, I love her foundation that she has on her volleys. Just such a wide base. Just creates such a solid foundation for these volleys.
Just back an inch.
I mean,
30 love.
really, really just smart, calculated play by Elliott and Burus. Really taking advantage of these short lobs that they're extracting after how many overheads.
You feeling a tiebreaker, Denise?
I'm feeling a tiebreaker, Patty,
Yeah.
mainly because I just don't want this to end.
That's right.
It's just such great paddle.
I got it. You kid. Yo. Hit it.
Whoopsie.
30, 15.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird miss from Burus right there. Just kind of, her feet stopped. I hate it when that happens.
It's a little, it's almost like she was stuck in lob mode and she needed those feet to speed up with the same speed that her paddle was moving.
Exactly. Easy for you to say.
I know. Hey, I could say a lot here. It's amazing how clearly we could see it from this vantage point, Patty, you know?
Yeah, we have good seats.
From outside the wires. Yep. Great help. And Burus just moving over, seeing that it's coming, and helping out her partner who's pulled off the net with that lob. Really good. And always deferring to the team,
Yeah.
and that awareness of
40,
where your partner
15.
is. Patty, big serve or push.
Push.
Come on.
Push.
Yep. Oh,
on.
no, she's going for it.
It's
you're 0 for 2,
uncanny.
just saying. I'm just kidding.
I'm like 0 for 70 in my last 5 matches.
Game.
That's
Elliott.
big.
Second set, 6-6. Tiebreak.
Here we go. Tiebreaker, Patty.
All right.
That was a big hold for Elliott and Burus. Love their just being so disciplined, playing within themselves. And as a result, we're here in the tiebreaker second set after losing the first set 6-1.
Burus Elliott down 5-2 in that set, I
Lopez
think.
Page
And then,
won.
I mean, what a comeback. They have battled like champions. They are the 2-time defending national champions. They've got their eye on the prize. Philly Nationals out of the cricket club. Bruce Redpath and his 40-plus volunteers have a wonderful weekend in the works for all of us. Denise will be psyched to head to Philly to finish off the 2024-25 APTA season.
Super psyched. And I'm really
The
excited
tour
about
season.
the new...
It doesn't
Yes.
really conclude the season because we've got mixed nationals. We've got team nationals after that. Really good dipping.
Lopez Page, 2 points to love.
And I like what Paige did. She had a little footwork and she created that shot. In the last point going into the tiebreaker, I saw her kind of over there in that ad court, kind of like being a little flat-footed and just, I want her to scooch over a little bit, stay over there. Don't give Burus the shot into her corner and just maybe give herself a few more forehand looks. You see how she's given Burus a shot to go in the corner? Burus didn't take it there.
Yep.
Because Paige's forehand is lights out.
Point, Burus Elliott. Lopez Page 2, Burus Elliott 1.
And you just marvel at a miss like that, right? It's such spectacular shot making throughout this match.
Yep.
And Burus just dumped that ball. And Paige
No,
dumped
to
it in the
deuce
net.
court.
Not a lot of pace, not a lot of anything.
2 serving 1.
Right, it's those surprise balls you get, Patty, that you're not anticipating you receive, and then
Point Lopez,
listen to
Page.
mistake.
3
Okay.
serving 1.
Elliott and Burus just need to remember how they got here.
Yeah.
Getting those lobs
See
right
how-
at this round the service line.
You see how Lopez went to her Elliott serve there?
Yeah. Yes.
She had a key point a little while ago and missed it up the middle, and remembered that situation and just pushed the ball in to get the point going.
Again, Page is in the deuce side now. There's an opportunity perhaps.
Point Bursch Elliott. Lopez Page 3, Bursch Elliott 2.
Patty, you mentioned nationals earlier. I'm so excited for the new format starting on Thursday at 1 o'clock with play, and the tournament culminating under the lights Saturday night with the men's and women's finals. So I just love that idea of just having the party and all the energy and enthusiasm for the evening of nationals, and then Sunday's reserved for a weather day if needed. But I love the change up.
I love the changeup, but I love the idea that if you have nasty, nasty weather, you can just put the brakes on the event and go to Sunday.
Yes.
I think these players, have such a huge commitment, and it's just such a bummer when you get that really nasty rain that can ruin it.
Yes.
Uh-oh. But the good thing is Lopez, like I said, she does a great job out of that deuce corner and, defends Burus a little bit better than Page does at this point when Burus has that really short overhead.
Yep. Love that down up to the ad side.
Uh-oh. Oh, that's great. Hang time to throw that
Nice.
ball way up. I thought Elliott had her.
Really good digs by Page over there.
It's interesting that Page gave up that forehand right there. I thought she could have taken another swing. You see Lopez just get down to defend that Elliott overhead.
Yes. So good, lowering her center of gravity. It's a routine, just like a little twirl there. Hitting the ball with the back facing the net. Made it look easy.
Good hang time lob right there from Page. The thing that's amazing is all 4 of these women can defend any shot on the court for the most part. And, they make volleying look so easy. And that's where, I give a lot of credit to Lopez and Page, because a lot of the way they've won points against most teams, it's, with the defense improving from Burus and Elliott here in the second set, they haven't been able to really break down them with a drive, with their pace as this match has progressed. So I give them credit for kind of going to a little bit of a lockdown, slow down, put a ton of balls in play mode.
Yeah, testament to their growth as a team.
That is 3-all.
Wow.
That was an awesome point by all 4 players, and just again, lots of discipline and control. You could see there's the plan both at the net and at the baseline, and it's a battle of the wills at this point, Patty.
Lopez Page 4, Bursch Elliott 3.
But, you haven't once in this match seen any panic from Burus and Elliott.
No. Nope.
And we talked about trust. They have the ultimate trust for each other as a partnership, and they know no matter what the score
Point
is,
Bursch
they always have a
Elliott,
chance to win
40.
every match.
Yep. I'm going to add to that, Patty, and they have ultimate trust in themselves as well. So, yes, trust in the team, trust in themselves and their skill set.
All right, 4-all. Tiebreaker. Oh, I thought Burus was going to clock that ball.
Yeah. Just so smooth.
Point, Lopez, Page. Lopez, Page 5. Burus, Elliott 4.
All right, Patty.
All right, Denise, before we go back to this match, next up, Pittsburgh Steel City Classic next weekend, then Indianapolis, then 2 weeks until the Philly Nationals. In the meantime, Lynn Burus serving. Down 4-5, second set tiebreaker. That's a good shot of Macy Elliott, giving her some hand signals.
Burus to serve. It is a Lopez, Page 5. Burus, Elliott 4.
All right,
Lopez
big point.
Page took a lot of time there, not letting Burus get up to the line and hit her serve.
Let's see when Burus and Elliott find an opportunity to switch here.
Elliott doesn't want to switch, Denise. She wants to hit some balls here from that overhead position. Oopsie,
wow.
little miscommunication, rare miscommunication, and
Point,
what
Lopez,
a shot
Page.
from Page.
Lopez, Page 6. Burus, Elliott 4.
Yeah,
Couple of
she
match
just stepped in
points
and
here. Championship points again.
yep. Yeah, I think Burus thought that Elliott was going to
6-4.
switch over to the right and left that open lane. All right, here we go. Match point, Page and Lopez.
That's you.
Great volley by Burus.
Again, good cut off from Elliott. She sensed Burus was
Yes.
way out of the picture. Didn't see her out of her peripheral vision to her left. Cut it
Yep.
off. Good teamwork.
Really good help.
I think Lopez Page should avoid Burus's overhead here. Just keep making Elliott hit a lot of the overheads.
It's a great get by Page. She made that look easy. That was a tough ball to cut off.
Great lob.
Yes.
Really good combinations of shots. Very mature shot from Page to throw that lob up.
Wow.
Wow.
Point,
Good
Burus
cutoff.
Elliott. Tiebreaker stands Lopez Page 6. Burus Elliott 5.
All right, another match point, championship
Yes.
point here. Third one for Lopez and Page.
And
Lopez to
Elliott
serve.
and Burus are thinking, we got one more at this point. We will see.
Yeah, great pressure
I
from
love
Macy
the
Elliott.
pressure.
I just knew she was coming after it.
Vintage Elliott right there. And again, that's her go-to backhand. I love that place, that target she has.
3 set points, 3 match points saved so far from Burus and Elliott. You know, when it's on the line, I'd have a hard
Talk
time
about
betting
trust,
against
Patty.
them there, Denise. That
Yeah.
dollar could be back to you.
I love these low trajectory overheads that Burus is hitting. A lot of times just keeping that ball low and deep. Very hard to bring high percentage offense from that overhead.
Again, they got to get the lobs.
Yeah, it's creating a little more chaos on their end just simply because of the depth of their lobs, to your point. Wow. I mean, Patty, like what?
Awesome.
Point,
You know,
Burus Elliott. Burus Elliott 7. Lopez Page 6.
I mean, it takes not just one, like, let's say a shot that would normally end the point against an average team. They're having to hit like 5 or 6 closing shots in order to elicit finally a mistake, you know, an error. It's unbelievable, Page and Lopez, their ability to defend, not just bring the offense, but to defend against.
Yep.
It's incredible.
So, set point here for Burus and Elliott, and
Break
they
it first.
want to come back down 5-2 up.
Third set.
Denise, we're going to take a break, but we're right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by Joho.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
Who is the player with the best serve?
Best serve, we're gonna go Tyler Frazier.
Best serve, Fraser. Sven Burus.
Well, I just had to deal with Sven Burus, so he's definitely up there.
Player with the best cutter?
Guillermo Nunez or Johan Durant.
My partner, Eric West.
Tyler Frazier, without a doubt. Dan Hansen.
Guillermo Nunez.
I gotta say Dan Hansen's, it's just filthy.
Best roller?
Either Alvi or Jose.
I'm gonna pick my own boy, Russell Benkham, on that one.
Johan Durant. Jose Salazar.
Jose Salazar.
Myself.
Best drive?
Alvi Regalado.
Jose Salazar.
Mark Powers.
I like runs in there.
Mike Wagner backhand. Johan forehand. Best drive, Johan Durant.
Best blitz?
Philippe Rams.
Philippe.
Alvi. Johan Durant. Probably Guille or McNerney. Guille. Guillermo Nunez.
Me.
Best volley?
Durant. Johan. Alvi.
Guillermo Nunez.
Guillermo Nunez. Guillermo Nunez.
Powers. I think it's one of the best on all of them.
Mark Powers' volley's unbelievable. I don't think he gets enough credit for how good of a volley he is.
Best overhead?
Guille. I mean, we gotta go with Guy Nunez on that one.
Powers.
Juan Araya.
Tyler Frazier. Johan Durant. Durant.
And best competitor?
Adam Morgan. Adam Morgan.
Me.
Mark Powers.
I think I'm gonna give that one to Guy Nunez too.
Alvi. I'm gonna put myself on that one.
Who would you say is the player with the best serve?
Burus. Lynn Burus has the best serve.
Floor, Lynn, Bia, and Thea.
Me.
Player with the best cutter.
Best cut winner, I think you'd have to go be Lopez. Marie Maturka.
I think Anna. Zubori.
Next question. Anna Marie Zubori. Zubori and myself.
Best roller.
Gabby? Gabby Nicoleska. Best roller, Macy.
Macy.
Macy. She's hit me a few times. Charlotte Sikora.
Me.
Player with the best drive.
Me.
I would say Gabby, Lynn, myself. Anna.
Anna.
Best blitz.
Can I say myself? Myself. Allison Morgan.
Addison.
Floor, by far. The team, Allison Morgan and Charlotte Sikora, they're amazing.
Best volleys.
I think Lynn.
Addison.
Lynn.
Halbauer, she can really hurt you with the volleys.
Best overhead.
I don't know. That's a hard one. Can I come back to that one?
Me.
Best competitor.
Ooh, Macy Elliott.
Floor Honish.
Macy.
Myself.
Hi, I'm Andrew Ong and I'm head of the Players Committee. The Players Committee looks out for the players at the tournaments. Having the tournament experience be good is such a great thing, so we want to make sure that the players are represented and the things that are important to the players are thought about. A lot of players have been talking about the quarterfinal reprieve. That is optional this year, so that's made the players happy. Starting January 1st, the number of tournaments that contribute to the players' rankings will go from 3 to 4, and the reason for that is the APTA Tour has gone up in the number of events in the last couple years, from 12 or 13 to almost 20 this year, and so we just want to take a larger sample size towards players' rankings. We're trying to figure out scoring formats too. The matches get so long at this high level that figuring out if no ad is right or when to do no ad and tiebreakers and stuff is tough. Also, the size of the draws. Traditionally, 32 draw has been the number for most of the tour events. One of the great things about charities is that we'll have a 64 draw so all the local players can play. But some of the tour events are leaning towards 16. I think they want single-day tournaments. The sponsors and the fans really like the Saturday night final. It's finding a balance between what's good for the sponsors in the tournament and court availability and things like that, but also growing the game and keeping everyone engaged and letting everyone play. I'm Andrew Ong, and if you guys have any comments, ideas, or things you want to talk about, feel free to reach out to me. Email, text, everybody has my number, and I really do care about growing the game in a good way.
Welcome back to the APTA Tour. We're here at the Short Hills Invitational in Short Hills, New Jersey, with an amazing women's final here. Our tournament number one-seeded team of Burus and Elliott, phenomenal comeback, down 5-2 in that second set, won the tiebreaker 7-6. Lopez and Page, phenomenal first set, 6-1. This is going to be a treat, and we have a treat right now. Mike Davis, a member of the Short Hills Club, longtime member, just came out of the umpire chair, just spent 4 hours calling the first 2 sets of the McNerney, Morgan, Salazar, Rigolato. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here, Patty, and thank you for having me on the live stream today.
Sure, Mike. I mean, what a tournament you guys have pulled off here every year. It's amazing, and I know you were in charge of the Champions Dinner and the Hank Irvine show on Friday night.
Yes.
What a treat for all of us. You welcomed all the past champions, honored the pros from your club, the long-standing pros. I mean, Hank, pro for over 20 years, Dave Broderick, phenomenal.
It was an amazing evening, and we did it to really kick off. It's our club's 150th anniversary this year. So the club was founded in 1875, and by our records, we're the second oldest country club in the country, and as I mentioned, it's our 150th anniversary, so we wanted to do something special this year during the Invitational, and we thought what could be better than bringing back Hank Irvine, who was our beloved pro for 23 years here in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. He is a decorated paddle champion in his own right, having won 4 national titles with 2 different partners. And then we did invite back all of our former champions from this invitational over the years, and we had 17 people who have won just title after title here on Friday night for dinner. So it was a really neat night, and we were very honored to have you there, Patty, as well as one of our former champions.
Well, thank you, Mike. I was honored to be honored by you guys, and just you guys are the epitome of a welcoming event. You welcome the spectators. You treat the fans like the fans like gold, the players like gold, and it's not lost. And it's why when the schedule comes out, no matter how many stops there are on the APTA Tour, everybody's calendar gets circled for the Short Hills Invitational, and that's because of the phenomenal job you guys do year after year after year.
Thank you. All the credit, or a lot of the credit, needs to go to Brian Skinner, our tournament director, who's been now, I think this is his 4th year of running the tournament, and we had an opportunity on Friday to honor Brian with an award that the club gives called the Hank Irvine Award. And so having Hank here and having him hand Brian that award that was established in his name for a member who has given many years of service to the club's rackets program. So we thought it would be a great time to honor Brian for all the work he's done for the last 4 years, growing this tournament and really making it the biggest and we think the best paddle tennis tournament in the country.
Yeah, and I mean, to hear Hank kind of go on a roll the other night. I know a lot of people like Chris Humphreys, your current director, he just was blown away and just loved listening to Hank talk. And I said, well, that's the gift. Hank could talk and he could tell a tale. Hank's a great guy. I was so lucky early in my career to get a job over at Beacon Hill across the street, and Hank welcomed me to come over here, and that's kind of how I learned how to teach the game, how to play the game. Hank would throw a few tips my way, always with a little bit of wit, sarcasm, and I love that.
Yeah.
That's how he could go about the profession. He had such fun and such passion for it, and what a great role model for so many pros.
Indeed, and it gave me goosebumps just to see him sitting next to Steve Baird on Friday night as well. Steve, I think, won nationals 10 times, including 2 different stretches of winning 4 in a row with Rich Mayer back in the 80s. And so just having these absolute paddle legends there the other night on Friday night was just was absolutely amazing.
And Steve Baird, a homegrown product, grew up here at the Short Hills Club.
Yep.
Seeing Steve the other night was such a treat. I wish we could have gotten him on air a little bit yesterday, but not to be.
Yes. Yeah. No, it was great, and no, it's been a fun tournament. When I came out of the chair here during the men's semi, and Mike Yachimski told me that I had been up there for 4 hours. I couldn't believe it. Felt like 4 hours, but when you're involved in a match like that, you're not really keeping track of time. So I umpired a couple really long ones last year, but never a 2-set 4-hour match. That was pretty amazing.
No, well, I mean, you've done it all this weekend, and so diligent in making sure everyone, got the heads up, and just, you dotted all your I's, no details left on, you guys just nailed it. Mike, thank you so much, including being an umpire, which it's a little easier to sit here and be in a warm spot than out there, but we so appreciate all of your efforts this weekend. Thanks so much for joining us,
Thanks
Mike.
for having me on, Patty.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck the rest of the tournament.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, Denise, we're back thanks to Mike Davis.
We are back.
All right.
That was a big game, Patty. Lynn Burus held and played just super smart. Really good play. I felt like Pejic and Lopez came out applying maybe a little bit more pressure than we had seen in that second set. But Burus and Elliott just holding steady to their plan and coming out, winning the first game in a third set. I feel like definitely fuels their momentum.
Love 15.
Denise, what match do you think will finish first? The men's semis that started at 10 after 9, or this match that started at 11?
You know what? That is a really tough question to answer.
All right, I'll give you an easier one. Do you think the men's semis will be over before the Super Bowl kickoff?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I expect this set to be equally as much as a grind. So I'm thinking that this will end after the men's semis.
Okay.
That's my projection.
All right, so what do? You're Pejic and Lopez. Got a lot of separation that first set. Burus and Elliott turned into Burus and Elliott again.
Yeah.
And clearly, we said you could kind of feel when the switch went up for Burus and Elliott.
Yes.
What would you tell Pejic and Lopez? I mean, I know you didn't pick them, but what would you tell them, Denise, if you went across the aisle to coach them right now?
I would say keep playing their game, and like remember patterns. Like right now with Pejic and the deuce side, they have, she's bringing it now, but when they get elicit a short lob, that's one of the ways that they've been able to hurt their seemingly impenetrable team. I mean, there's very, very few chinks in the armor of all four of these players, actually. But when you can kind of elicit a few mistakes, that's when you're going to keep going after it. I mean, we had talked about, even though the first set was 6-1, I believe every single game went to deuce, or a majority of them. So the margin of how many points each team has won is probably even at this point. In total, even though we've got a 6-1 disparity, all it takes is, one extra point. So, wow, great get by Burus. What would you say, Patty?
I don't know. I asked you first, Denise.
I know. Mine was a very long-winded answer to.
Yeah, that was a long.
Keep doing your thing. Keep doing what you know, and
Okay.
It was. I don't think them going into total lob mode is great for their game, because when they do get that strike, they did start missing more drives. I think they need to keep looking and keep playing their aggressive game. Like that was a great roller right at Elliott. That was a tough ball.
See, I kind of feel like I'm more thinking about their net game versus their baseline game right now. And
gotcha.
So I think they've got to find Macy. I just feel like Burus, her level's gone up, and she's looking for it and she's executing. And so I definitely wouldn't take the play to Burus at this moment in the match by choice.
Yeah. Well,
That's
Burus
just
right
my
there.
hunch.
Yeah. I love that little crafty block chip instead of a block lob, which sets up for a secondary drive. So that second drive off of her chip is what allowed them to take the net back over, which was so good.
Shout out to Ara up at Englewood Field Club. Loving the action. The original Master Boy. I think he was the original Master Boy.
Again, Pejic in that deuce side corner with the rollers. I just think that Lopez has just a lot more reps over there and looks running those down, and her timing is just a little more refined in navigating those tough rollers from Elliott and Burus.
I think Lopez needs to take off her outer layer so she can go back in pink, so that it's not so easy for Burus and Elliott to find. They're going after the pink. Give them 2 sets of pink.
Yeah. But, Patty, for those of you who are, believe in all these untangibles, I mean, they lost the set where they were matching in pink. So maybe she's like, we got to go back. We got to go back to mixing it up. Superstitions.
That's right.
It's like never touching the scorecard. I haven't touched a scorecard since junior tennis. It's a great lob, creating confusion. But they're organized with Page back in the ad side and Lopez in the deuce with the yellow shoes and black pants.
Ooh, that was a great lob. Got Elliott reaching up for that high backhand. I'm surprised Page didn't take that ball.
Yeah, I thought she'd be flying in to blitz on that.
But she wasn't showing it, you know. She didn't move her paddle, and that's, you see Lopez coming way over. And Lopez did that a lot with Anderson Zabori yesterday and got herself a lot of looks, kind of, you know, baited them into hitting to her. I think it's a smart move.
I agree. Great lob down the line.
Game, Lopez, Page. Third set stands 1 game each.
Lauren, Denise, I keep calling you Lauren, Denise, whatever. Lauren's your middle name, right? Denise Lauren Murphy? DLM.
You know what? I'm going to, just because I like you a lot, Patty, yes, it is. So, you know.
So DLM, the season kicked off at Montclair. That was where Lopez Page went out in the semis. They lost to Alexandre and Elliott in that. But, you know, lights out from there. They made it to the Baltimore final. But in that semi, we talked about it earlier, that's where they had the win over Burus and Elliott, the only win of the year over Burus and Elliott. And so that's what they've got to draw on. They've had a great season. Like we said, we've got a couple more stops on the APTA Tour. Pittsburgh next weekend, then to Indianapolis, culminating with the Philly Nationals. Burus Elliott, as we said, have 5 wins on the APTA Tour this year. Hannah Sabori have 2 wins. Morgan and Sikora have 2 wins. And Lopez and Page looking for their 2nd win.
Yeah, Burus and Elliott have been a dominating team this entire season, just so consistent. But what makes them so dominating, it's not like they are crushing or cruising in these finals. They are just, I feel like, masters of adjustments.
15 love!
Shifting, you know, changing strategies based on what they're seeing. And that's what has made them such a successful team.
Yeah, for sure. And it's,
gosh,
you know, the matchup that started the match is a different matchup than where we are right now in the 3rd set. And they are masterful at going with that and making the adjustments that are kind of subtle, but brilliant.
Yes.
30 love!
In a tight match like this, little subtleties make a big difference in the outcome. And you had commented, Patty.
40 love!
That's such a great move by Burus. She keeps like poaching and taking those middle balls, which perhaps force Lopez to want to hit a wider return than she's comfortable with. And
40-15.
Her movement created an error. I was going to say, Patty, you said it in the middle of the 2nd set, how if people were to just chime in and watch, the momentum, the energy shift was so drastic with Burus and Elliott. You would look and say, wait, how in the heck did they lose the 1st set? Because they just, a switch flicked, and it was that strategy shift, and the energy came with it.
Yeah.
Nice pressure by Burus following that in.
And you see that Lopez drive down the line? I like that shot. She did that. They both hit a lot of down the line shots against Hannah Sabori. It was really successful. And I kind of like that because you've got Elliott and Burus are doing a phenomenal job of covering the middle now. You know, they've closed in on that.
40-30.
Great footwork, and I love how Page was against that side screen, Lauren, looking only forehand.
It's crazy. Great shot. I really like they're taking some time here. 40-30. Elliott serving. Taya Page returning.
Update, the other men's, the semifinals still going on. McNerney and Morgan, after losing the first set 6-3, winning the second set 12-10 in a second set tiebreaker, are up 4-2 in the third on Regalado Salazar. Regalado Salazar only lost one match this year to Brother Christian.
Great volleying by Elliott Burus right here. That's a lot of heat coming out, and they're doing a beautiful job navigating these volleys. Crazy dig by Page there.
Deuce!
Great point.
What a great shot. That dipping ball, I mean, just
Yeah.
got it onto the, the toes of Lynn Burris. That's all you have to do to make her miss.
Oh, yeah, that's all.
Get her
That's easy,
off
Patty.
the net and hit her toes.
When she's like 3/4, she's in the service box.
Deuce!
The amount of rotation that's needed
B.
to hit that ball down like that, it was just pulling so hard down. There's a lot of top spin on that ball. Beautifully executed by Page.
Advantage out!
Is she going big or is she pushing? Denise, what's your call?
I think she's going big.
Push.
Yep,
She's going
I win.
big. She's going big.
I can tell right when she's right as her setup.
Yep.
Patty, you're 0 for 3. But who's counting?
I know. I changed back at the last second. She didn't move her right foot over.
But I like that. I like that she's trusting it. She's like, no, I'm going for it. I've got this shot, and I'm...
Well, and that's what makes Macy an amazing player. She, in those moments, it's hard to bet against Macy Elliott.
Wow, that's those penetrating down the line drives you were speaking of, Patty.
Yeah, and I like that. I mean, she chicken wing Macy twice, and she
Keeps
made
her
them
honest
both.
over
But
there.
I do like that target.
Yep. It keeps her, you got to take care of house and home first. Keeps her out of the, not as easy to be looking for those middle balls when there's a high probability it's coming right at you.
Yep, for sure. She got a lot of hang time on that overhead.
Yes. I like how Burris handled that little, sometimes we try to go, whoa. Nice job by Burris following that big forehand. Bang. Some of these are getting a little close for comfort. I never like when a ball lands right on the double sideline.
See, I think after Paige hits one or two of those drives, throw up a lob over
A
Macy
lob, yes.
Elliott, straight up the line.
Yep.
Deuce!
I agree. By the time the third drive coming, against a team like this, it's going to hurt you more than help you. Even though you get a drivable ball, just to pass that up, the space that you're trying to find is now behind them and not in front of them.
Wow.
Advantage, Elliott!
Oh, she had the line. She knew what she was doing.
Yes, she did. I like that Elliott stayed back. Sometimes the more space and the larger your target, Patty, the more you can kind of relax a little bit. You're not trying to thread the needle anywhere, and that can elicit an unforced error.
Yep. Big time serve from Elliott. She went for everything. Hit the line on that serve.
Oh, wow.
Deuce!
Almost. Elliott's like, really? It's a tough ball. Back to deuce. No surprise here. Such a great cutoff again. Burus just up there. She's not just moving and taking that middle ball, she's actually also lunging forward, taking a step
Advantage,
into
Elliott!
the court. Wow, Paige got over there so early to look to cut that ball off. But Elliott and Burus were ready to volley. Great adjustment there with that down the line drive,
Elliott,
navigating that.
Burus and Elliott lead the third set, 2-1.
Did you see how wide open the line was on Lopez? Took that ball across court. They were kind of, Elliott and Burus were kind of squeezed over there. And I don't think Lopez saw it. She just could have waited half a second before she pulled the trigger on that shot. But much easier call from here, as we said, not when you're out there.
Yes.
So, Denise, we've had an update.
Yes.
Ernie Morgan up 5-3 in the semifinals.
Oh.
Over Regulado Salazar. Brett Easterbrook's been calling that match for about 5.5 hours. Amazing paddle match over there going on.
15 love.
All right, we've got B. Lopez serving, Lynn Burus returning. This has been a battle, Patty, for those who have just chimed in. Almost every game has gone to deuce, and the separation between these two teams is very slim.
15-all.
So when I asked you earlier, do you go after Elliott or do you go after Burus? It's not really like you can really go after either of them, but I think Burus she's dangerous. She's more dangerous at the present time.
Yep.
15-all.
But you need your partner to set up those opportunities to be dangerous, and that's what's so beautiful about their partnership is the balance that they create for each other.
Yep, for sure.
It's a great move. That was very calculated. Elliott came in just very calm.
30-15.
That was a huge point. I felt like it was slipping a little bit on Paige and Lopez, and I think Paige needed that.
Yes, I agree with you.
A little dangerous. See that middle lob? There's clearly Lopez, and then the second one becomes a problem.
Yes.
You know what I mean, Denise?
Yes, it's when Paige is moving to her left, back to her left.
Yep, and this is...
I feel like there's opportunities.
For sure. And that's what they've kind of cleaned up for the most part, Denise, but they're a little vulnerable to it right now. And I feel like...
Sorry, go ahead, Pat.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think Paige has to be a good listener right now because I think she's She's ignoring some of the verbal mine from Lopez, maybe.
Yeah.
But I love that, they both want the ball, but you still have to have your system of coverage and hitting the shots where you can cover what's going to happen next. And you're right, It is
Absolutely.
dangerous with Paige handling more of these lobs from the the position of the right of the two players as we see it from this camera angle.
Yes. Well, given it's Super Bowl Sunday, I'm going to make a little football analogy, which is a quarterback's rate of completion moving to their dominant side
40,
versus moving to their weak
15.
side. Completely, it's night and day. So it's the same with overheads. You're moving back to your left as a righty. The likelihood of you missing your target goes much higher up as opposed to moving to your strong side, your right, moving back for an overhead.
I like
There you go.
that. I like that, Denise Madden. Do you remember
Too bad I
John
don't have
Madden,
one
or
of
were
those-
you too
Yeah.
young?
No, heck yeah. I wish I had a pencil. I was just saying, I wish I had a pencil to circle stuff on the court,
on the
screen,
that's right.
write things like the X's and O's, the
Game,
arrows.
Lopez and Page, third set stands, 2 games each.
That Page,
That
that
was a
Page
big-
forehand that
big
they
hole
got
for
that
them.
point to go to 30-15 in that game was huge. Like psychologically, you could just
Yep.
kind of feel a difference in them.
Yep. All right, we're all tied up, 2-all. Lynn Burris serving. B. Lopez returning.
Love
Good
the
move
pressure.
by Paige.
And to not hit that ball, that was
Yep.
a lot of composure. I would have swung. It would have been out of my reach. I would have missed. Then it could have gone out. And Denise, in just under one day, the men's semifinals just finished. McNerney
Oh.
and Morgan pulled it out 6-3 in the third set, giving Regalado Salazar only their second loss of the season. Phenomenal,
130.
phenomenal win for McNerney
Wow.
and Morgan.
So Christian and Broderick were the only other ones
Yep.
prior to beat them, correct?
Yep.
All right. That's huge for Morgan and McNerney.
What an exciting
Left
nationals it's going to
40.
be.
All right, this game's going a little fast.
What a pickup from Burus on that ball.
15-40.
Wow. It's not only a huge serve, but I think it also hit the seam there by that second post. But Lopez did a great job getting that ball back in play. Elliott and Burris smoothly switch at the net to put Elliott in that drive stopping position on the right side of the screen. Yes, I love how Elliott just gets right up on top of the net, knowing that Paige is going to drive. Nice hands by Burris. Wow. Okay, Paige is over there on that deuce side. See what happens if we get a short lob. It's might be trouble. Such a good point.
Yeah,
Great play by all four players. Wow.
I love the creativity that you see when Lopez plays. She's an artist out there. Wow, what a rip from
Game,
Paige.
Lopez, Page. Lopez and Page lead the third set, 3-2.
How about our great sponsors, Denise, Corian and Volley?
Yes. Yes. I was just going to share a little bit Volley here. Did you know that Volley has thrown 5 million balls?
I did, and it's a
players
little bit
working on
more
our
now,
game.
Denise.
I know. Should we? Is it closer to 6 now?
Well, I think we're at 5.2.
It's amazing. We have the volley machine at Skokie Country Club where I am a teacher at, and it's, boy, that talk about a great. It's just such a great instrument for the members to use, and it's very easy. It's out there. What I see it used most for is the members are warming up their return to serve and screen work. So just a great addition to not only the teaching staff, but a great tool for the pros to use as well. All right.
I like it when it fires a ball at you, like one of the drives from one of these 4 women.
Yeah.
And you have
yeah.
to get down on that volley and work on your timing and absorb the pace to try to control it.
Absolutely. You can calibrate it to whatever speed, whatever spin, whatever placement you want. It's really an amazing machine.
So Denise, 3-2. Last 2 games. It's picked up a little bit, don't you think?
Yes. Yep.
I feel like you got a little bit more bounce in your step here in the 3rd set. You kind of know it's winding down. You know you're in the last set of your announcing for the weekend.
Woo, I'm feeling it. Let's go.
I mean, those jumping jacks that you do, I don't know how you don't have, breathe heavier into the mic here.
Low heart rate, Patty. Low resting heart rate.
That's right.
Keeps everything down. But no, I really like Lopez and Pejic.
Love 15.
We talked about what they should do in this 3rd set, and my long-winded response was do the same, play their game, which is offensive. Which they need to constantly troll. When they kind of slipped into almost mirroring what Burus and Elliott were doing to them, which was lob, 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 that actually was taking them out of their game. That kind of extracted energy from their play, which now I feel like they're back and keeping the pace, the tempo of this match at their pace.
Yeah, you see those bright yellow sneakers,
Yes.
They're popping around. A little more energy.
Yes, absolutely.
And I always think, Denise, in crucial moments in matches, it's that footwork. If you can keep yourself moving and keep taking those little setup steps all the time, it goes a long way to handling the pressure moments.
Love 30.
That's a rare miss from Paige on that overhead. We haven't seen, maybe she's missed one in that situation, but again, both her feet were beyond the service line. So kudos to Elliott and Burus for lobbing so consistently well.
You remember how many times we've seen Nicolescu over the years where she's hits that roller overhead from pretty deep, and Paige does a similar thing. And you saw Lopez just hit it from 3/4 depth. You would never teach that normally.
No. Yeah.
But most of the players you're teaching are not named Lopez and Paige.
Yeah, when you have got all-American rackets players on the court, the skill set is there, which changes the percentages that they're going to make or miss.
No, just out. Love 40.
About 2. The previous game was fast and a love game, and it's interesting.
Yeah, break a serve and 3
Shift.
break points for Burus Elliott.
Yep.
No. 15-40.
Just a great serve from Paige. Just jam Burus on that.
Game. Burus and Elliott.
There you go.
3rd set stands 3 games each.
Again, I love that. Burus coming in. Macy hit a beautiful dipping return. So you're setting up, Paige is setting up not only to navigate that difficult volley, but now you have on top of that, Burus coming in and applying pressure. So great job. Good 1-2.
Elliott's feeling it. Big
Yes.
serve there to start that game.
I love that help call.
15,
Elliott.
love. $15 all.
All right, both teams, you see, they're all high five, low five.
Mm-hmm.
They're on the same page with each other.
Absolutely. Just
3
pumping
all.
each other up.
Yep. Finals of the Short Hills Invitational, the last Grand Prix on the APTA Tour for the 24-25 season. 2 faults from Elliott. Helps Paige she's gonna get a good swing on this ball, I think. She going big or is she pushing?
I think she's going to push. But that was a late. I'm not going to take credit for that.
It's okay. It's okay.
Just wide, just wide, just wide.
Wow. Shocking miss right
15-40.
there from
Yeah.
Burus. I think she shocked herself.
Yes, it's a rare miss. So this is interesting. This is the 3rd lopsided game. We haven't had previous to this, Patty. I want to say every game has been a deuce game.
Right.
And this is the 3rd lopsided game we've had in this entire match.
We started this match about 20 of 11, I think, Denise. I mean, we're getting there. I think we've hit the 4-hour mark. Almost. Certainly in 2 more games we will. We didn't want Brad to go on record as getting the longest call of the day. I mean, Denise, we're rivaling that right now.
We're so competitive, Patty. Just because
Exactly.
Just because we're outside the wires doesn't mean.
Paige. Lopez and
We are
Paige.
right in this.
Lead the 3rd set, 4 games to 3.
Okay.
Hey, Denise, I would love to hear
ladies, it's
one
time
more
for the
time
ball.
about Corient, our other phenomenal tour sponsor for the 2024-25 APTA Tour.
Yeah, Corient is the official wealth sponsor of the APTA season. Corient is the fee-only wealth manager who puts their clients at the center of everything they do. Learn more at corient.com.
Thank you, Denise.
New ball.
Thank you, Patty. So appreciative of Corient and Volley just stepping up in a huge way to
Macy, it's new ball.
support the entire season. Just wouldn't be able to do. We wouldn't be able to do this without them. So
Yep.
thank you for your support.
Yep, Jenny Sowers from Corient played in the tournament. They had a great event Thursday night. Chris Humphreys, the director here, ran the event. Fun was had by all. Good way for a nice thank you to Corient for all of their support this season. So Lopez Page up 4-3, 3rd set, women's finals from Short Hills, New Jersey. Phenomenal
Such a
high
great-
level play from
Love
all
that.
4 women.
Love 15.
Vintage Burns right there. Just keep moving. Notice her feet. They just don't stop. She's forward, forward, forward. There's no parallel movement in that blitz. It's beautifully executed.
That's why Burus, to take her on versus Elliott,
Yeah.
Macy kind of breaks you down with a series of shots where Burus can deliver the one, punch knockout blow.
I love that little probing drive. Off pace, forehand ground stroke from Elliott. Just to throw in a different look.
$15
Usually Elliott takes that one-hander and puts that ball back cross court to kind of cause a little confusion. She didn't do it there. Lobbed a little bit long. Rare error for her.
All right, we have B. Lopez serving. Macy Elliott returning.
Macy Elliott crushing the return.
15-30.
Yeah, she saw that push coming, and it was not a deep push. She capitalized.
And look at her feet. Look at her feet on this. She's just moving in. So much momentum and power behind that forehand. So good.
Macy must have heard me say that she can't deliver the one punch knockout blow like
Yeah,
Burus,
she's like,
but
oh,
she
really,
just
Patty?
did. Yeah, I got that, Patty.
$30-40.
Went big, a little long.
That's what that return can make you do. Like, right? You want to avoid that coming at you again. So what are you going to do? Perhaps try to hit a bigger, better serve than you're
or dump it in and stay
capable of.
back.
Yes, or that too. Absolutely. There's again, staying within them, playing within themselves is what's so important. Not trying to feel like you have to hit a bigger, better shot.
See, right here, I would like to see. I don't know. Oh, she pushed again.
Advantage, Lopez.
Such a good move. I would just love to see her take one step with that volley. Shoulders went back just a little bit on that, and the slightest angle change. It's going to send that ball out. It's a great move, though.
Big serve from Lopez right there.
Yep.
Huge moment in the match, obviously, with a game point to go up 5-3 in the third and final set. Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That had so much spin.
Whose ball was that, Denise?
Oh,
Let's see that again.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I mean, it's such an awkward ball. Paige forgot she wasn't playing singles.
Yeah, that just...
She just had to let Lopez hit that ball. That's all.
Yes.
But that's what this moment does. Kind of alters your good decision making.
I mean, that was a wonky ball regardless. That was going to cause a lot of trouble for whomever hit it, but I agree with you. She should defer to her partner on that one.
You know, that's a good word. We don't hear that word wonky enough.
Well, let's bring that back, Patty.
For sure.
Advantage, Lopez.
Good overhead. Kind of put a little cut on that ball, stayed down low. Elliott couldn't dig it out of there.
All right. Let's see what happens here. What serve first is coming from Lopez. Just going for it.
She went big. Burus went big.
Lopez Page. Lopez Page lead the third set. 5-3.
All right.
Kind of a weird stretch, Denise. You know, 3 games in a row, break, you know, and then, you know, here we have Lynn Burus. Started off the match. She's the first serve, typically, for the team of Burus. And Elliott, because she has one of the greatest serve we've seen in the women's game.
15-love.
Yep, that was just that jam. Lopez just a little bit.
Yeah,
Which,
she did.
really
Lopez was so committed to blasting that drive, but Burus' serve didn't allow it. And I think Lopez wishes she had a redo. She'd like a mulligan.
15-all.
I think they both want a mulligan at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I like that little chip.
But I was
surprised
kind
they
of
didn't come in
surprised
on that.
they didn't take the net
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
A couple times they've resisted the transition play. I like the hang time on that lob from Lopez right there. She threw it way up there. Last time these two teams played, it was 4 hours in Detroit, Denise.
Yeah.
You were wondering if we were going to get a rematch of that? we clearly have.
So good. Again, the mental fortitude, Patty, that's necessary to stay focused for a 4+ hour match. It's pretty unbelievable. All 4 of these players, kudos. That drop shot, I love that ball.
Ah,
Really
phenomenal.
compromises their positioning. Great dig. Great get by Lopez. I mean,
30-15.
All right, we know Burus is going big with this serve.
we do.
It's an easy call. She always does.
Get ready. Good take.
Paige has to be careful here.
Yep. You want to. You can't go hunting too far from home, so you won't be able to get back with your goods.
Love the down the line shot right there from
Yep.
Lopez, inside out forehand. Perfect time for it.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
30-all.
And the off speed, little push ball up the middle of the court. Even screwed up our 2-time national champs.
That's just so rare to see.
But
I might even go so far as to say I've never seen that from those two from the baseline on that routine reset overhead. Big point here. I feel like we keep saying that over and over again, but this is how close this match has been. I mean,
40-30.
okay. Lynn Burus serving. Taya Page returning. I think she might have thought Macy was going to take that.
Just a rocket return of serve right there. Big time.
Yep, there's a little head
indecision
fake.
there.
Yep.
That's what happens when you
Right
don't
back.
commit to the volley. You know, you can't just wing it at the last second. Deuce. Burus serving down 3-5. Third set.
Advantage out.
Wow. And just like that. Championship point number 4. I think, Denise.
I believe so. It's a big point. Wow. Great volleys. I mean, Burus is making this look easy, which is these are very difficult, tough drives coming at them. And
Yeah, they've seen it for 4.5 hours. It's nothing to them, Denise.
yeah, totally. It's a great get by Lopez off the nick.
Yeah, you can see Lopez and Page are determined. Play a long point. Every shot you hit, just hit near someone if you can. Yeah,
Such a good dropper again. Elliott's just right on top of the net.
Deuce.
Took a little nerve.
Yep, that's that quiet confidence, Patty. I mean, when you're
Yep, that was
you have
a brilliant
100% trust in your not only your anticipation but what you can actually execute from that. Really, really, that's a freaking clutch volley right there.
Yep, and you know she didn't see Burus. She was kind of cutting that ball off before it dipped too low, and the drop shot was the most perfect shot there. If she hit the ball deeper, they would have been dead on the next ball.
A great boom by Paige.
What soft hands on that volley from Paige. That was a beautiful sequence.
Advantage out.
What allows her, she starts moving before Lopez even hits the ball, which just gets her in such great positioning to execute that blitzing move. It's really heads up. All right, another match point, Patty. Such good. I love it. Wow. Great lob.
Really good
It's
lob.
a good switch by Elliott. That's a heads up.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow, Denise.
Wow.
Game, set, and match. Lopez and Page.
Number
6-1,
4 seeds.
6-7, 6-3.
Took out the number 2 team, the number 1 team in the country in
very
this
welcome.
tournament.
Amazing match.
Phenomenal back-to-back wins for Lopez and Page.
I mean,
Denise.
just an unbelievable display
That
of,
concludes the finals
discipline,
of the 2025
talent,
Short Hills Invitational
athleticism.
Women's.
That was a fantastic match played by all four. But, you know, at the end of the day, Lopez and Page are just so locked in and rock solid. There's so many different weapons and ways they can, you know, weaken and hurt their opponent. It's just, you know, it's tough to say. Normally, one team is, you would say, wow, their offense or their defense. They are just beautifully balanced. Their defense equally matches their offensive play, and that's what, you know, they've had a commanding performance in this Short Hills tournament. So
yeah, just, I mean, what a phenomenal final. We're going to, Denise, we're going to wrap it up. The players will be interviewed in a little bit, but we're going to tune in, and coming up is the men's final. Durant and Mitchell are up against Morgan McNerney. They're going to get started in that match shortly. Morgan McNerney had that 5-hour brawl in their semifinals, but they're going to jump back on the court and battle it out. And Denise, that's a wrap. We'll talk next weekend from the Steel City.
amazing. Thanks so much, Patty.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Historically, Glen Oak is a golf-only club, but they wanted to add an extra amenity, and Glen Ellen has a huge community for paddle. We were lucky to pull 200 players from the Glen Ellen community.
Many members had played at the Glen Ellen Park District.
We were able to get a bunch of teams going, kind of right off the bat.
The facility has been an amazing addition to Glen Oak. It's really brought a lot of new ladies to the sport.
And it's not only the courts, but this beautiful paddle hut.
Having a place to hang out, relax, catch a game, as well as come and play paddle with your friends has been a huge attraction. As you come up the ramp to the sports complex, the first thing that you're going to see is that large outdoor patio.
There's a fireplace out here on the main level.
You can drink and eat with your friends, as well as look out to the 9th hole where you can watch some golfers come through during the right seasons. As you head inside, you'll walk into our large lounge space and dining area.
There's a really long bar with beautiful light fixtures. There's made-to-order food.
We got a great bar staff, great restaurant.
You can get quesadillas and burgers. The ribs are awesome here.
We have a ton of bar seating and lounge seating. We have our hubby area where you can store all of your belongings, 4 TVs, an indoor fireplace.
It's a great place to come on a Friday night just to hang out.
Bring the kids down. It's very family friendly, so we've brought our families in on Sundays and kind of been teaching them the game.
Downstairs you're going to see a fully stocked bar, as well as 3 golf simulators, and our second outdoor patio where you can hang out by our fire pit and enjoy the evening after you play. The membership loves the full year-round rackets operation.
There's a lot of different opportunities for all levels. We have children's programs,
Couples paddle,
mixers.
our other friends over at the Park District, we've invited them. We actually tend to call it the vortex sometimes. We'll come down here and we're all getting together and having so much fun, nobody ever wants to leave. So it's really been great.
We are at Glen Oak Country Club, and this is the APTA Hut of the Month.
Hi, I'm Andrew Ong and I'm head of the Players Committee. The Players Committee looks out for the players at the tournaments. Having the tournament experience be good is such a great thing, so we want to make sure that the players are represented and the things that are important to the players are thought about. A lot of players have been talking about the quarterfinal reprieve. That is optional this year, so that's made the players happy. Starting January 1st, the number of tournaments that contribute to the players' rankings will go from 3 to 4, and the reason for that is the APTA Tour has gone up in the number of events in the last couple years, from 12 or 13 to almost 20 this year, and so we just want to take a larger sample size towards players' rankings. We're trying to figure out scoring formats too. The matches get so long at this high level that figuring out if no ad is right or when to do no ad and tiebreakers and stuff is tough. Also, the size of the draws. Traditionally, 32 draw has been the number for most of the tour events. One of the great things about charities is that we'll have a 64 draw so all the local players can play. But some of the tour events are leaning towards 16. I think they want single-day tournaments. The sponsors and the fans really like the Saturday night final. It's finding a balance between what's good for the sponsors in the tournament and court availability and things like that, but also growing the game and keeping everyone engaged and letting everyone play. I'm Andrew Ong, and if you guys have any comments, ideas, or things you want to talk about, feel free to reach out to me. Email, text, everybody has my number, and I really do care about growing the game in a good way.